Hello, everybody. I'm coming on to share some information. Some of you guys may know about it, some may not. This won't be like last night, a long marathon show. I've been sharing this information. Give me 1 second. Uh, I just wanted to share some information with people. I'm gonna wait till people come on in before I start to go ahead and before I start to do it. First of all, how is everybody doing? Welcome to No Corona Zone, day 11, how to get money. And we are going to be talking about this very thing, how to get some money. If anybody like to join, I have it in the chat room, the link to join. Obviously, you got to be a U.S. citizen in order for that to happen. But yeah, so give me a second as I have to clear something up real quick. Give me a second. All right. Sorry about that. I just had to clear something up and we are good to go. So basically, everybody knows about the stimulus that was passed. The stimulus was passed some months ago, and it was about $3 trillion. Josh, hop in, Josh. It was about $3 trillion, the stimulus. And they have set asides for small businesses and other things. And so there's a $3 billion was set aside for small businesses. And what happens is you can apply for it and you can get what is a grant. A grant you don't have to pay back. The grants are about $1,000, something like that. You don't have to pay it back. I have a family member who applied for it on Saturday and got word that they were approved on Sunday, and then Monday was deposited into their account. So, I don't know if it's going to be like that fast for everybody else, but that's what happened there. So let me show you. You got to go to the SBA website, and I'm gonna share screen. I'm gonna share it like that. It's the SBA website. I'm gonna put in the chat room. No, unfortunately for you guys, no. And here's the SBA website. Hey, there you go. All right. And you just go to the funding programs, coronavirus relief option. And then you go to the EIDL loan advance. And then you hit apply here. And then you just fill this out. It took me less than 5 minutes for this to happen. Now there's a video of a guy who actually is going to walk you through it. This is the one that all the people I know who got it, they just followed this video. And here it is. It's in the show notes as well. This guy will actually really walk you through it. But you just, fill it out, put these are pretty standard questions. I'm not going to go through it because I've already gone through it, but it's pretty standard questions. These don't take long at all. And from what I understand, a lot of people are getting it. So you want to definitely give it a shot. The worst can happen is they just tell you to fuck off. It's not going to mess up your credit score or anything like that. So, and this is 100% legit. And I'll let you guys know if I got approved or not. But like I said, everybody I know has been approved. So I wanted to share that. I've been telling people, but I decided I'm gonna do it like a short little video, kind of, just to make it a little easier, so they can go up on my page and find out how to do this. But this is as far as I'm gonna go, as far as giving people information. So, like I said, you want to go to the SBA website. Let me hit the back button. SBA website, funding, go to Corona relief options and hit apply here and give it a shot. See what happens. So, like I said, this is not going to be a long video. I'm not going to be on one of those marathon sessions, but I wanted to share that with everybody. So, and I'll tell Mafuni, who just came in, because you're a small business owner, if I remember correctly, Mafuni, right? So what I was telling people is you can get a grant from the SBA, and you can get a grant from the SBA, and it's they're like $1,000. You don't have to pay it back, but then they also have here you go. Wait, that didn't come out right. You can get a grant from the SBA. Let me go back. And it's like $1,000 grant. Here you go. And then also you can apply for a loan, even if it's not like a business with a business license and stuff. You can apply for a loan, and people are getting it pretty fast, so it doesn't take very long. You know what I just realized? Hold on a second.
Oh, hey. Kinde.
Hold on one second. I just realized I had my speakers on and not my. No wonder it sounded funny. How you doing?
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
All right. Yeah.
Let me adjust this camera.
Yeah, I got a couple of screens. Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to let people know, like, a bunch of people I know, they got these loans. So, I mean, the grant and the loan. So you could decide you don't have to take a loan. You could just take the grant, So,
Well, I've been taking what I can get here.
Right. And you're in Canada, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm sure they got a bunch of stuff too, right?
Well, I've just been taking the one for I guess self-employed people that made a minimum amount in the past year, but the lockdown kind of just shut everything right down.
Mm-hmm.
Sales went to zero and stayed there. So I'm taking that, and 3 more months of it, unless they extend it again, but hopefully they don't need to.
Right. I mean, so many people are taking a huge hit. It's really unfortunate, man. So that's one reason why I'm sharing this with people is so that I mean, like, it's not gonna change your life,
but it lets you live a little bit better.
Right. Anything, a little bit, every little bit helps, right? I think we can all use a little bit of money.
Yeah. Now I've gotten a celebrity endorsement several times from the same celebrity.
Oh, really? Who's that?
Glenn Morshower. recognize him?
Was he like in 24?
Yes,
Right.
Agent Aaron Pierce.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been giving me some really nice compliments on my comments from on the show that he's in with Ken Walls and Scott McCain.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Sunday night. The Ken, Glenn, and a guy named Scott show.
Mm-hmm.
And great show. Turns out that I really like who he is as a person, and discussions go deep, philosophy wise. But he understands very well the importance of spreading love wherever you can,
Mm-hmm.
like it's going out of style.
I agree with
Like,
that.
and it's fun too. I met Ken Walls through Builderall. I had signed up with a fellow named Evan, and his sponsor was Ken Walls. And he's in Ohio. But he's been doing a show called Breakthrough Walls. He just started the show just after I met him. I knew he'd be a hard guy. It would be a friendship well earned. I knew he wouldn't be an easy guy to, just fall into a friendship with, because he's busy all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he seems so serious,
Right.
even now. But I did tell him once, Ken, it's okay, let your hair down once in a while. He goes, I don't have hair. You know what I mean, Ken? And that seemed to do something. It gave me an opportunity to do what I do when I do a live stream, which it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Hangouts, not a show per se, but just whoever comes in, I start talking to them. But I'm talking to myself before they come in, so there's always talking going on. And then when it's all said and done, I turn on and watch it because I'm very soothing to myself.
Mm-hmm.
If that sounds a little odd. Because I try to remain engaged in conversation with whoever's in there and myself, and I can do that because my family's convinced I'm on the spectrum. Tests indicate I'm not. The autistic spectrum.
Right. I know what you're
Yeah. I'm not. My nephew is, and my wife is. Well, it's not my wife anymore, but she has Asperger's, and that was just I didn't mind that. I did mind the other things that the in-laws that couldn't admit that they just didn't like me, and that investigation continues. Moving forward, Josh.
What's up, Josh?
Ooh.
He's on mute.
Yeah, I didn't want to come in just in case the background was a little more active than you know how it is.
I do know how it is. I do know.
I remember how it was.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. Did you see what I was saying earlier?
Yeah, I got most of it. Had it set up here.
Yeah, so go fill it out. See what I'm sure you'll get at least $1,000.
Yeah, the city of Jacksonville had something like that, and they're like, we're only going to do it for, a certain number of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people were lined up down the street for it. It's like, I don't want to have to go somewhere.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's gonna be deposited in your account. They're gonna tell you. It's all through the online.
I still remember when I had to line up outside my bank in the winter on payday to cash my check because I still got a check, and there would be that'd be 2 or 3 blocks in the cold winter before you got in there, and then the real waiting began. Once you got inside, always seemed to take another 45 minutes just to get to the teller. I am very grateful for some things that I'm grateful for a lot of things the internet has brought to us. I haven't been inside my bank for a long time.
Yeah.
Except to use the cash machine for recreational supplies, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oprah said something to the effect that I think she hasn't been to a bank in 20 years.
Well, when you're Oprah, the bank goes to you.
Right. I remember that. Floyd Mayweather said something like that the Brinks truck just comes to the house.
Yeah. Or maybe You become your own bank.
He used to own a Brinks truck,
Oh, wow.
and then he sold it for a profit.
What?
Yeah, he sold his truck. Yeah.
Because he owned it, it went up in value.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
There's
Buys the
There's-
vehicle and sells it for more than he bought for it. That's
The first.
I know in the U.S. there's a way to buy a nice vehicle if you have paid in full whole life insurance. You borrow against your insurance, and there's one guy was promoting this from Colorado, and some of the insurance will let you earn the full interest on your whole insurance policy, even though you've loaned yourself out enough to buy a car, and your interest rate is better than you can get anywhere else. So you're paying it back, but you're still earning interest on the whole chunk, and you're getting a lower interest rate than you would have gotten anywhere else, and it lets you drive rather nice cars for very little money. But you need that first paid in full policy to borrow against. It's
personally, I only drive Ferraris.
Yeah,
Ferraris named Prius,
Prius.
made by Toyota.
The most reliable brand.
Yeah, I get, some people get in their jabs at me, get their digs in. They're like, I thought you would be driving a truck. Why aren't you driving a pickup truck? You're from the South. You're a big guy. Why aren't you driving a truck? It's like, because I don't want to spend $50 to fill a tank that's going to get me around the corner.
Yeah. My mother used to think I'd be driving a big 4x4. I loved them when I was a kid. I used to buy 4x4 off-road, and I had all of them. I loved Peterbilts and Kenworths. This was in the country, so when a truck went by, I was at the end of the driveway going, waiting for that horn. I was easily excited, and still am to this day, by little things. Important.
Can't lose that excitement.
How old is your oldest again, Josh?
13.
So in 3 years, you got to be buying a car.
No, in 3 years, I try not to say this too loud, but she'll probably be driving the third car, which is a big truck, a big safe truck.
Oh, okay. All right. What's up, Carlos?
I like trucks. I mean, I drove a bus for the transit company in the 90s. I mean, into the early 2000s, and I went to the subway and stayed there because I like driving the train more. Buses are fun to drive, and you can flick the rear end out when there's a little bit of snow on the ground when you go around the corner. It raises a few eyebrows on the bus. This is not standard operating procedure. I think.
I'm
one of the
aware.
only ones that did that.
I drive school buses.
I had a school bus license too, which meant I had only half as many points to lose as the average driver. And there was the alcohol level allowed is 0. All the levels allowed are 0 right down the board, right across the board for a school bus license. Up here.
Down here, it's pretty much like that. Some of my friends who are not partakers in sobriety think I'm rather dull.
Well,
Do
I've done it.
Do you drink at all?
Me?
Either one?
Not anymore.
I've well, a friend came down from Utah. Dear friend came from Utah, and she's like, looking at the gas stations. It's like, they sell beer here, and I'm like, yeah, that's normal. Like, well, not in Utah. Like, okay. It's like, we should get some beers. I'm like, look, I'm good for maybe 1 or 2 a year, and I was told that night, she said, yeah, you're probably going to meet and pass that while I'm here. So I was game. So it's not a matter of, I don't do it. I just don't do it,
Yeah. I like to have a Guinness with my shepherd's pie, but I very rarely have shepherd's pie. And it's usually when I'm on vacation. But there was a time when I drank a great deal every day, considerable quantities. And that time was short, fortunately. And then I stopped doing it because I developed a habit of helping at least one person a day. And that was a side effect of being put on light duties after kind of having a nervous breakdown. The first day I could go live with my Android on Facebook, I did so. And I gave a very frank review of what was going on behind the scenes at the company I worked at. And the viewers appreciated it, but the company did not. So I had 3 weeks off without pay. And then I was back on light duties. And the first 3 weeks were not fun until the supervisor said, look, you're here when you're supposed to. You leave when you're supposed to. You're here for you to get better. So whatever you do in between that time, that's up to you. And so I took it and I made it my own. I vowed to become a shining beacon of customer service light, so bright that it would sear the retinas of the person responsible for putting me where I was, who was unidentified at that time, who has been identified since. I still don't know who they are, though. I have no clue who they are.
Kaya, what's
Kaya.
up, Kaya?
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen. I thought you needed a woman in the mix.
Yes, we
Yeah.
definitely do. And you are all lady.
Yeah, I still can't. I
Working
can't
on
even find that person in the company directory. When they keep a secret, they just tell you it's a secret from me, just around the people around me. But I know people all throughout the company. So one guy, I'm over there hanging out. He goes, "What did you ever do to so and so?" I said, "Who's that?" He goes, "He hated you. He despised you." And I said, "I don't even know who that is." And so he told me, and he's like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And that was just after wife removal. So
Wife removal.
yeah, I didn't know I was supposed to mourn, and so I didn't do it until September. She left it May, and I didn't do the mourning until September because summer was really weird, and not most of it was not sober, but I didn't drink any alcohol, so it was just saying.
So
I've had that procedure done.
So Josh, how was your 4th of July?
Fine, I guess.
Did you do anything?
Oh yeah. I played Apex Legends for a little while, and then I watched. What did I watch? Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids?
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Surprised I hadn't watched it yet. And it's been on my list for so long, I gotta say, comparing HBO Max to Netflix, I really like the ability to just have an alphabetical listing of everything. So I can just go through it instead of, trying to navigate through different genres or whatever Netflix does to kind of push their own content to the top. So that's basically what I've been doing, watching a lot of that. Watched Hamilton on Disney Plus. Had to.
Did you like it?
It's amazing, man.
Why did you have to?
I haven't seen it.
Because a number of years ago, I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, and some people that I trust very much kept talking about it. They're like, "This is an amazing musical," and there was no way to watch it in Florida. It wasn't a touring production. It was just you kind of have to be in New York to see it. And then someone told me that the what do you call it? The original cast recordings were on Spotify. And I started listening to it, and I'm like having my mind blown about this I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not 100%. It's hardly 90% accurate, but it hits some key points of history and carries a beat. So I really got into the music. It was the first Broadway recording that I just had on like a regular playlist. Like I'm just jamming to any other tunes. And since again, there is no way to watch it.
Wait a minute, you didn't bump West Side Story?
No. I haven't seen West Side Story.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I've started it twice, but it's time investment. But yeah, once they announced the touring productions, and I found out the dates for Jacksonville, I was like, okay, we're finally going to see it live. No, it's not Lin-Manuel Miranda, but at least we'll be able to see it. And then guess what happened? That's right, Corona.
La Corona.
Canceled everything.
Corona's ruined everything, man.
Well, I wouldn't say it ruined everything. It required me to pull back.
Things.
Yeah, I definitely like dining out more.
Yeah,
because there's nobody there.
No, it sucks, man. I hate Corona.
But when they said the original, cast, because they recorded this stuff a few years ago, that the original cast was going to be making up the cast for the release on Disney Plus, that made it appointment viewing for me, and I watched it day one.
Well, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it
a
shot. Okay, so Kaya, how was your 4th of July?
It was fun. I visited a couple of friends, made a couple of pit stops, and then ended the night with my kids and a couple of home fireworks at home out in the driveway.
Oh yeah, not
along
homemade.
with all the along with all the illegal fireworks. No, not homemade fireworks.
Oh, okay. I would have been
fireworks at home.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that kind of chemist.
I used to make smoke bombs. They were quite popular at school.
Oh,
scary. With that whole Hamilton thing, I graduated from Alexander Hamilton, and when I heard about Hamilton, I was like, oh, maybe I should watch that. But then it became so popular that I don't know if I'm anti what's in the mainstream or what's become mainstream, that I'm just kind of turned off by the idea of watching it now.
Mm-hmm.
He makes bombs.
I mean, that's fair.
Don't
just listen to the.
I make bombs.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess I can watch it on Disney Plus. I kind of felt like that too. Like, it's one of those things that just, is everybody talks about it so much. Then it's like, can it really live up to it? But everybody swears that it does. So I'll give it a shot. I'll take a look.
Kente, you're a fan of some of the raps and the hip hops, right?
I'm a big hip hop fan. Yes.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, so is Lin-Manuel Miranda, and for someone that's versed in the history of rap and hip hop, he has thrown in a lot of tributes to rap and hip hop artists that you'll probably be able to catch on to. So,
he used to get he went to high school in New York, and he used to get bullied by the great rapper Immortal Technique in high school. So, I think they're fine now, though. So, but back in high school, he used to do that. So, but I'll give it a shot. I don't know. Okay. So let me ask this question, Kaya. You can speak for the ladies. If a guy said, "Hey, I got tickets to Hamilton," would that be like would you be like, oh, okay, let's go, or would you be like, man?
Oh, I would go. I wouldn't if he put the effort into buying tickets to something and he's into that. I would definitely go.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm always up for. Okay, so when the first time I was together with like long-term relationship baby daddy, we were together for 7 years, and one of my big ahas at the end of that relationship was, you know how in our well, at least for me in my 20s, I was very selfish. It was all about what I wanted, what I was into. I wasn't open-minded to what my partner wanted or what my partner was into. So after that relationship ended, that's one of the things that I discovered about myself. Hence why I'm telling you, hey, if it's something that the guy is interested in, I get that the relationship's not all about me, and I'd want to do something he's into.
Okay, Carlos, what's up, man?
Hamilton was good.
I don't see Carlos taking a woman to see like Hamilton. I'd say
I don't think Carlos would do much with a woman these days.
no. I think Carlos would be like, what would Carlos take a woman to do?
Wait, what?
Oh, to a you take her to a technology convention?
Would you let her paint your toenails?
Uh,
I think I'm gonna go.
I let my Japanese girlfriend do that. She was doing my toenails, and then she painted them too.
28-year-old.
And
I mean,
forgot about
New
it.
York is known for Broadway, and I mean, there's a lot of great plays out there. Hamilton is one of them. I don't think I was into Hamilton in the beginning because I'm not into hip hop. You know, I worked for the hip hop industry, and it was a big turnoff. But and not all of it was a turnoff. But I, you know, I did a lot of work in it, and so the thought of watching hip hop on Broadway at first was a turnoff. When I had friends who had gone to see it, and they talked so highly of it, it started opening my mind to it, and then the tickets were just priced astronomically. So when I finally got to see it, I was blown away by it. It was so impressive, just how they were able to use rhythm and storytelling in such a beautiful way. And what I also liked about it is that even though it's based on history, the cast wasn't. So in other words, they didn't cast people to look like, let's say,
George
Alexander
Washington.
Hamilton or George Washington, or they just, that part they didn't care about. And it was a very great mix of people that were in the cast. So I enjoyed that very much, because in other films and stuff like that, people of color are presented by people who are not. So I love that it was a great mix, and it really didn't have any rhyme or reason, and it didn't matter.
Wait a minute.
So
And Al Pacino's not Cuban?
that's correct. And I just found it out right now.
You mean that's not an authentic Cuban accent in Scarface?
I don't know what that accent is.
Oh man, hilarious. Yeah, no, you're right though. I mean that's the thing that's cool. You know what? I think I can. I'm trying to think. Do I still have Disney Plus? If so, I might go ahead and just give it a.
Well, you'll recognize melodies and rhymes, or the it basically they take some classic songs in hip hop and then just change up the words, and you hear it sneaks up in there, and you're like, oh, I know that rhythm, and it's really, really good stuff.
All right, so what was the first concert you guys went to? We'll start off with you, Josh. What was your first concert?
My first concert that I had to sing in, or the first concert period?
No, that you went to go see. And don't say your grandmother's whatever. I'm talking about like an actual group that was,
Well, she told us we would go into the church house to watch the ladies sing. No, my
Wow.
first concert was Downtown Jacksonville, 1987. Debbie Gibson.
Really, Debbie Gibson? Wow.
Wow. I would have liked to have seen her.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Did you have a good time?
As far as I remember, I was like 5 years old.
Oh,
Oh wow.
yeah. I probably should say as a teen, at least a teenager. But okay. I love this. The Village People. Hilarious. What about you, Robert? What was your first concert you went to?
I'm pretty sure it was actually it was a small one. It was
I can't hear
orchestral.
Huh?
Hello, am I on?
Robert, it's probably
Yes.
Okay, it was Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, OMD.
Can you hear him? All right, hold on. I'm gonna bring you on and bring you right back. What about now?
Hello.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah, it was OMD, the Orchestral Maneuvers.
nice.
Yes, they were in our high school in the auditorium, and it was a bit past their prime, and there was a lot of empty beer bottles on the stage by the end of the night. But
Stop it.
the music was great, and but the first bigger concert was Rush.
Rush. Okay, Rush.
Nice.
That tour, I don't know.
Oh wow! Look at this. Her first concert went to Salt and Pepper,
Salt
Foster
and
MC,
Pepper.
and had Mary J. Blige as their backup singer, and Puffy
Wow.
dancer, and High Five. Wow, that was a great show. Let me guess what Kaya's was before I ask her. Kaya's first concert was the Spice Girls. Was it the Spice Girls?
Wow. I don't think so.
No. The Lilith Fair in 1997.
It was who?
The Lilith Fair in
Oh,
97.
Lilith Fair, okay.
It was an all women's, what do you call it, ensemble. Like Sarah McLachlan was the main singer.
Mhm.
Jewel, that type of stuff.
Oh, okay, Lilith. I get
Very,
it.
very feminine, empowering. But you were close.
Okay, all right. What about you, Carlos? Who was your first concert?
It was Howard Jones.
Ooh,
Oh, okay. Oh. Wait, wasn't that the song? Oh.
I have some
Things
LP.
get better, right?
And Phil Collins was the drummer.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. My first concert is like Maya's in there. It was MC Hammer.
Mm.
Wow.
That was the first one, and it was a great show. It was a great show. MC
Now,
Hammer.
was he able to touch this?
No, he couldn't touch it.
No.
He couldn't touch it. No.
Okay.
No. Okay, so here's another one. Let's do some first. When was your first date, Josh?
I'm still waiting.
You've been married, so I assume you were at least on one date once.
Mm.
I don't know. Let's see. What would be considered right? I suppose maybe anybody remember offhand when the Recess movie came out?
No, but we can look it up.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's true.
All right.
Recess movie.
And put in the chat room too. When was your first date, if you can remember?
2001.
Oh, 2001.
Wow. Okay. So I thought I was still in high school, but I wasn't. Did I?
1984.
I guess it was 2001 going to see Recess out of high school. I was such a really awesome guy.
1995 was her first
I
date.
can't remember my first date. That's a hard one.
Really?
That tells
remember-
me that it wasn't very memorable.
Oh wow. I remember my first date, but I gotta do some math because I was 12 on my first date. We went to a movie. I can't even remember what movie it was. It was some stupid movie. But
I still remember my mom taking me to the movie theater with my guy friends.
yeah, I had put on so much clothes, trying to be, a man.
Mhm.
And as
Oh.
I'm leaving out, to go on this first date I'm so super nervous for. My brother smelled me and was like, dude, you put Twix in a bottle. So,
I still remember. I remember now that you're saying that, I remember the first time I went out on a date with a younger guy, and how awkward that was. Because he's the one that was all nervous and everything. And I remember, okay, like TMI moment. I remember a condom falling out of his pocket onto the floor, and I was like,
oh, you got plans for later tonight, huh?
Wow.
He says, not plans, just precautions.
It's just a posh wink. That's all. That's all.
That's funny.
right.
He's prepared for COVID well in advance.
Oh man. So Carlos, what about you? Do you remember your first date?
1984.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And
I was 5,
Oh.
Carlos.
you're what?
I was 5.
I was 2.
God.
Eight. Eight.
I was
Jeez.
17. I was 17.
And it was at a movie. We went to the movies. I don't remember the movie because I don't think we saw the movie.
Was it
Mhm.
RoboCop?
Oh, geez.
Probably
Uh oh.
No, nothing too heavy.
Oh.
But it wasn't. I mean, with a lot of kissing. It was just a lot of kissing.
Oh,
See,
okay.
since you were talking about Hamilton, I thought you were going to say when's the first time you saw a musical, first time you went to the theater. Like that one, I remember clear as day. Like that was memorable to me.
Really? Not the first date. Okay. What about you, Robert? When was you remember your first date?
Well, not the first one because I was very active as a youngster, preschool. This is what I hear. I don't remember any of it. But from what I was told, I got caught naked with every single girl in the neighborhood in various places, multiple
Oh,
times.
that counts?
No, that doesn't. But what happened after was pretty intense. So I was sort of retired, and but here, let's fast forward to 18 years old. I was with the church youth group in Niagara Falls, and we're just hanging out.
Nice.
Maple Leaf Village. I was on, the swings that go around, and they tilt a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The girl operating the ride, I was looking at her, and she had the bluest eyes. And I just was staring into her eyes every time I went around because I'd never seen eyes that blue before. And when the ride was over, she came up to me and she said, "I'm on a break now." And we went back behind the shops and started making out. And then I started dating her. And yeah, that was an hour and a half each way. So I was falling asleep on the way home for a while. And yeah, but that could be counted as the first date because I didn't really do anything like that in high school. I was working when I wasn't in school, making money and spending it.
Okay.
I found that more attractive, more rewarding, and I was scared shitless out of from dating in high school. I guess whatever happened when I was younger did something to that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm at
Okay,
now.
longest distance relationship you've had.
Oh, the longest distance relationship?
Like he's talking about he used to drive an hour and a half to see his girl. That's what I mean. Like
Oh,
he
the
had to
longest that I
travel.
had to drive, I probably an hour and a half. No. Well, you talking about your whole life, or okay?
Like I once drove 5 hours to meet a guy.
Oh well, 6 hours here.
Okay.
We meet a guy. No, just playing.
I've driven 5.5 hours to go have dinner with someone, my friend in Ottawa.
Someone you were dating.
No,
Shacked up.
No. She's his friend. She's a good friend. She's the reason I can talk about politics and not get all excited now. I used to just go into a rage and black out and not remember what I said.
Whoa.
It was bad.
What's the longest distance for you, Carlos?
For me,
Yeah.
a girlfriend. She was in Pennsylvania. I was in New York. Eventually, she cheated, and we broke up. The distance was too far.
Oh, that's
Maya
a
says, I drove
I'm
4
all for
hours, worst mistake of my life. His breath was so horrible.
I bet you can still smell it when you got home.
What about you, Josh? What's the farthest you've ever driven to see a
Or
girl?
traveled.
Travel.
Driving time 10 minutes.
You keep them.
That's a limit.
You keep them loco and loco.
Well, I'm not exactly a prolific dater to begin with, so
Hmm.
10
Yeah.
minutes.
I used
Now,
to
is
say
that my
life begins.
choice?
yeah, we'll go with that.
I used to say life begins at 31 because that's when I was separated, and
Well, I was
When I stopped-
separated at 30, 34,
Mhm. And you're what now?
38.
Oh, okay, so it's only been 4 years.
youngin.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
You're so sweet.
we'll start with Kaya. What was your first car?
It was a very, very old, I don't even know what year it was, diesel Mercedes. I still remember that thing was made out of like real steel.
Classy.
I don't remember what year it was though. I do
Big
remember
one?
I had to pump diesel in it. Yeah, it was a big, bulky looking. It was yeah.
Mm.
Thanks to my dad. My dad used to buy old cars and fix them.
Yeah, those were good
And
ones. They would go forever.
In his world, that car was to keep me safe and to save me money traveling, which it did.
What about you, Robert? What was your first car?
It was a 1974 Plymouth Satellite 2-door, but just had the 5.2 liter V8 with a 2-barrel carburetor. The venture so small, so it would run out of breath at 90 miles an hour, and that's just as well. I had G6015s on the back, and the front was lowered because all you needed was a 9/16 socket to lower the front suspension, thanks to the torsion bars. And I had a little tiny steering wheel in it, and every corner I went around was sideways, just like the police did in the TV shows. And I was leaving black stripes on the road at every opportunity because, well, I love the sound of burning rubber and the smell. And I did taught myself how to do many of those stunts I saw on James Bond, the ones from the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go in reverse and hit the brakes and spin around and keep going forward, that kind of thing. That was my favorite one to do. Freaks people out. If they see you coming. And then they see you coming. And but I was a responsible driver, believe it or not. I only did that. I practiced in the school parking lot when it was empty and things like that.
All right. What about you, Carlos? What was your first car?
Dodge Charger was my first car. Didn't last too long. Second car was what was it? It was a Ford. It was a town car.
Oh.
Yeah, the massive, like what you saw taxis for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing had a Mustang engine. The thing could fly, but you couldn't take a turn with it. It was horrible.
Okay. What about you, Josh? What was your first?
My first car was a Dookie Brown 1988 Dodge Lancer.
Oh.
I like the Dookie Brown.
It was terrible looking, but strangely
I'd have
enough,
to look closer.
now that I think about it, that was also in 2001. And when I got that car, I suddenly became a lot more sociable. A lot of people started calling me.
Yeah, so those are Mitsubishis.
Yeah, you had that Dookie Brown car. That's why.
I don't think they cared what they look like as long as they could get them somewhere.
Well, I have a great story about my first car. My first car I won in a raffle.
Ooh.
Nice.
And I wasn't even old enough to drive yet. I was 15. It was a 92 Hyundai Elantra. I won it in a raffle. I was working on a art exhibit with my father, and as it's closing down this event, they called my name, and I couldn't even afford the because you had to buy you had to have
Insurance.
insurance taxes. So for the first year, my parents drove it until I was able to get old enough to get my license and everything. So and I held onto that car for a long time, past the point of sanity. I mean, I think I had it for like 12 years or something. Like it. And them things you're lucky to get 4 or 5 years out of them. So, but it was funny because it's a Korean car, and I had a Korean mechanic, and he said, Koreans make shitty cars. Get rid of this.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah, he was like, get rid of this Korean shit. I'm like, oh,
They're
wow.
better now.
I don't know if I
They're better now.
agree. I mean, now all I buy is Hyundais,
Yeah, well, maybe
and they're amazing.
But they even admitted themselves at the beginning. They used
In the
to.
beginning, they were terrible.
He used to take a carburetor and clean it and put it back together and say it was fixed as a mechanic before he started. He didn't know
That
anything
sounds
about.
great. It's
About-
a lot of money savings.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people angry at him because he did stuff like that. But he learned gradually. The founder of Hyundai.
All right. So this part we're gonna do either or. Okay.
Okay.
You got to choose one. You can't say neither or none or anything. You got to choose. All right. We'll do like a lightning round. Okay. All right. So we'll start off with. We'll go in order. We'll start with Josh. Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Kaya, pizza or tacos?
Tacos. No question. Tacos.
Robert, pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Carlos.
Pizza.
I knew he was gonna say that. All right.
I'm in New York.
I
I love tacos. I have tacos right
I do
across the
too,
street. But pizza, can't beat that cheese.
I love pizza, but I love tacos. I'm a taco guy. I'm from LA, so LA.
I'll have burritos.
Mhm.
If it's pizza or burritos, I'll go for burritos. But pizza and tacos, pizza every time.
All right, so we'll go back around. So Carlos, Doritos, Cheetos, or Fritos?
Neither.
You got to pick one. You got to pick
I guess Cheetos.
Cheetos. All right. What about you, Robert? Doritos, Cheetos, or Fritos?
Doritos.
Kaya
Cheetos.
and Josh.
Fritos.
Yeah, mine can change, but Fritos, right? It's mostly Fritos, I would say. Fritos, pretty good, pretty dope. Okay.
My toupee is falling.
All right, Josh, James Bond or Jason Bourne?
Bond.
Ooh.
What about you, Kai? Jason Bourne or
Bond.
any James Bond, whatever one you like.
Bond.
Robert, Jason Bourne or
James Bond.
and what about you, Carlos?
John Wick.
That's not fair.
You have to pick one of the choices he gave Carlos.
All right. All right. Let's. I'll go with James Bond.
All right, so Carlos, dogs or cat?
Neither. No dogs. I'll have to go with dogs because cats can kill me.
Robert,
I'm
dog,
allergic.
Cats.
Kaya,
Cats.
She's a cat lady.
Josh.
Cats.
Okay.
In a good
Josh,
way.
who's more scarier, Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees?
Scarier?
Yeah.
Now is this situation they're like coming down on me and I'm like, which one am I more scared of?
Right. Big one. Who's a more scarier bad guy?
Okay, I'll say Jason because he's not going to attack me with one-liners.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's funny. Kaya,
Carlos
Jason.
is dissolving into his background.
I love it too. He's like it's like a 80s breakdancing video.
Shoot, I would have to say
Oh, that's right. It is green.
Jason, but I'm scared of both. I don't like scary movies.
So wait, which one did you say?
Jason.
Jason. What about you, Robert?
Jason. I never actually watched the Friday the 13th movie, but the Jason movies I did watch,
Mhm.
and maybe because of all the nudity and I especially enjoyed that aspect of it. And then I would always think, why does he always kill the naked girl first? What's wrong with him?
I know. Right? You want to keep her alive, right? What about you, Carlos? Freddie or Jason?
I'd have to say Freddy because of his one-liners. I can't stand that. That is scary as hell.
Okay, that's a good one. All right.
So machetes are like one of those things that my family grew up around in El Salvador, and my father had this thing with having machetes like hung in the living room, and they still have the mask. And one Halloween, my dad bought one of those Jason glow in the dark movies, and he was a mechanic, so he would wear those jumper suits. So he knocked on our living room window, had on the jumper suit, had a machete and the mask on, and it was dark, right? And we just like screamed so loud and went in. Like, I was home with my brothers. I have 5 younger brothers, so we all just hid. My father thought it was the most hilarious thing in the world.
Okay, what about?
I was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
What about Freddy
He said it.
or It? And not Freddy, but Jason or It. Pennywise.
You're not the host, Carlos. This is not your show.
No, that's a good one.
I'm curious though.
I would say I'd be more afraid of Pennywise because I feel like Jason, I can outrun him as long as I don't trip and fall. You know, like. But I feel like I can leave him in my dust. Whereas Pennywise, he can do all kind of crazy stuff, and as long as I don't go to dairy, I guess I'm cool. But I'd say Pennywise. I'd be more afraid of Pennywise, straight up. Yeah.
Now Maya is definitely into Chunky.
Mm-hmm.
Chunky.
It's a doll.
Chunky. I think she means Chucky.
I know, but it's a doll.
Yeah, I'd drop kick Chunky.
I have drop kicked Chucky many times, because friends of mine had there's Chucky, and I'd go and poof, don't do that. I didn't like that doll. I never saw the movies, and either one. It seemed more ominous than Chucky, but I wasn't a fan of. I'm still not a fan of that genre, with the exception of The Grudge. That was I couldn't stop watching. I thought that was amazing, even though I couldn't turn the lights out and I didn't sleep the first night after watching that movie because I kept watching it over and over and over and over.
And The Ring.
I ripped. Ring was silly.
Well, all right, so here's the next one. We'll start off with you, Josh.
Okay.
Super Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog?
As characters, as games, what?
Whatever you want to.
It doesn't matter because the answer's the same. Sonic.
Sonic? Okay. What about you, Kaya?
Mario all the way.
Oh, this is the Italians.
It's for me.
It's a game. Mario.
Yeah. What about you, Robert? Mario or Sonic?
Mario. I still have an original Game Boy just over there.
Oh, sure. Oh, okay. Dang, I don't even know where my original one is.
All of you people let quality get in the way.
What about you, Carlos?
Mortal Kombat. But I guess between the two,
That wasn't even an option.
between the two, I was getting to that. I'd have to say Sonic, even though I don't really get either game. But okay.
Okay. All right. You got to pick between these two heroes. Okay, we'll start off with you, Carlos. Sometimes he's a villain, but we'll say when he's a hero. Godzilla or Luke Skywalker?
Ooh, tough choice. Tough choice.
That was a weird combo.
I'm trying to make it extra weird.
What am I picking though? Like, which one do I like better?
Yeah, which one would you like better? Which one would you rather have on your side?
On my side.
Well, it's easy.
I'd have to say Luke because Godzilla was just going to mess up everything anyway. So, I can't invite him over for dinner or nothing. I mean, he's just going to destroy anything I bring him to. Hey, want to go to my Sweet 16? Bah! I just killed everybody.
But you're going to feed him, right? If he's a house guest, right?
Oh, yeah, there's that.
I don't think a rack of ribs is going to be enough.
I don't think I have enough food for you. I ordered 1 million pizzas. It fits on your fingernail.
Hmm.
Right. All right. What about you, Robert? Godzilla or Luke Skywalker?
Let's see. I'll say Luke, and because I was thoroughly vested in the expanded universe, that's now non-existent officially. But even when he, I guess, transformed into Darth Vader, even then, still a fan.
Okay. Kaya, Godzilla or Luke Skywalker?
I like animals. I would have to go with Godzilla.
Me too. I'm Godzilla.
Is he an animal?
Yeah, he's a
He is an animal. He's a monster.
But he's only
Kind of
he
in
stays.
the
He's
vein of
only
like
stays with fans.
Gigapets and Pokemon. Like, that's where my brain goes.
Monsters' lives matter.
That's right.
I love Godzilla movies. Don't
Me
get me wrong.
too, as a kid. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too.
What about you, Josh?
So I went on a,
Or Luke?
before you move on
Uh-huh.
with this whole Lives Matter situation, I went on a walk today and someone had taken the time, like every couple of steps on the floor, they had written White Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ, how do you say that?
LGBTQ?
LGBTQ Lives
Mhm.
Matter. And it was like the whole walk had a series of sayings. And I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, side note, ADD moment. There we go.
What about you, Josh?
Okay, for the same reasons Carlos said, I wouldn't be able to take the other one anywhere because he would just ruin everything. So I'm picking Godzilla.
Okay.
Luke Skywalker just became too grumpy to take anywhere.
Here's my hero friend.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did it destroy your city? It was an accident.
Well,
Be
but
a
he had
lot
that
of-
sense of humor, even as Vader.
All right.
Did I give everybody cancer? Oh, the radiation. I'm sorry.
This one probably is Kaya may not love this one because
Uh-oh.
she's a girl, but just play along, Kaya. All right, so we're going to comic book. We'll start off with you, Josh.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
Who's
Okay.
hotter? And you can pick the hottest version of this character. Who's
Okay.
hotter, Catwoman or Wonder Woman?
And
You know,
what am I
honestly-
basing this on?
Whatever
comic book version?
matrix you want to do.
Whatever version of anything you like.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, she picked Wonder Woman. Okay.
The Linda Carter version or
Even though I'm a cat lady, I'll go with Wonder Woman.
well, you could play costume with her. You'll be the Catwoman.
That just sounds all kinds of bad, Carlos.
Sorry.
I'd pay to see that.
Shame on you, Carlos. You're
It's
fired.
costumes. We're talking about costumes. I'm not saying anything
Role
else.
playing, right?
Like Josh is still thinking. He's like,
Oh, there's so many
Just-
different versions to take into account.
Right,
Oh.
exactly.
Who you think as a character? Who you think you would have the most fun time at night with?
Again, are we talking like cartoon series, comic books, movies?
All of
What?
it,
He
whichever.
said comic book.
Whatever.
He said
Well,
comic
yeah,
book.
comic book. We'll say
Straight up comic books?
Yeah,
Catwoman.
Catwoman. Okay, Catwoman. What about you, Robert?
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Definitely.
Carlos.
I mean, I can't look at the comics because as an artist, but I've drawn Catwoman. I've never drawn Wonder Woman. But in terms of just if we're keeping it general, Linda Carter, I'm sorry, but she takes it from me.
Okay.
Wonder Woman seemed too wholesome to lust after.
Yeah, I would say
Well,
Catwoman.
I'm not looking at them in a sexy
Until
way. I mean,
recently.
yes, they're sexy women, but there was this persona that she gave the character that I really enjoyed, especially when I was young.
Yeah.
I would say Catwoman was probably the freakier of the two. But then again, Wonder Woman though. See, there's no thing about Wonder Woman. She can make you tell the truth with that. With the lasso. So,
With her lasso.
that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah. Now tell me again, was it good for you? Was it? Was it?
Oh yeah, you
Right.
need the lasso for that.
Oh man, that's funny.
You know, the lasso doesn't work if you just tell the truth to begin with.
Wow. Yeah.
He looks so
To tell you what else I'd like
patriotic.
to do.
Yeah. All right.
She looks so patriotic in all these pictures I'm looking on Google. I was like, who the heck is he talking about? Now
Wonder
I know
Woman?
who you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh,
Linda
yeah, Wonder
Carter.
Woman.
She was
She's,
the Wonder Woman back in the
I,
80s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah,
yeah, when I was yay little, like I was one.
2 or 1. Well, I mean, her character was patriotic. She had the invisible jet. I mean, she was with the soldier guy.
I
Her
don't
love interest.
understand her patriotism because she's
Well, it's because she was supposed to be the opposite type character to Captain America at the time. And DC never had a very well prepared story arc when they first created the characters, so they just kind of went with feeling and action. And then it wasn't until later, when Marvel was kicking their butt, that they started developing their characters with a more in-depth story.
She looks like she can't breathe in her outfit.
probably good.
Yeah, but she's so strong, she can make anything stretch. Is the understanding. You know,
Make
I have to say,
anything stretch.
Wow.
I just want to salute.
You just reminded me of my first wife.
There it is.
She is so American.
With the outfit, she is very American.
All right. So we'll go back to Carlos. Neo or John Wick? Neo or John Wick?
Ooh, that's good. I'll still go with Neo.
Okay. Neo. What about you, Robert? Neo from The Matrix or John Wick? John Wick.
John Wick.
John Wick. Kyle. Neo or?
Neo. I'm a Matrix fan.
Yeah, I like The Matrix too. And I love John Wick as well. So.
Yeah, me too.
What about you, Josh?
Does John Wick know kung fu?
Yeah, he knows
Some martial arts, yeah.
jujitsu, I believe, is what he uses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mainly jujitsu.
I just wish in the next movie somebody would just ask John Wick, "Do you know kung fu?" But
Well,
I'm
what's
gonna
funny-
pick Neo because he can fly.
There's
Okay,
supposed
I have
to
a
be
question.
Go ahead.
Since because I'm like, these questions are very much along the line of man type questions. So I want to ask a female type question. I guess
Okay.
if there is such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. More general. If you had a time traveling machine, would you travel to the past or would you travel to the future, and why?
Great question.
And why? No, we have to explain it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Who you want to start with?
You, Kinte.
I would go to the past so that I can get that sports almanac and give it to my younger self. From Back to the Future. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Nice. How about you, Josh?
I would go to the future just to find out for sure if everything is going to be okay.
It's not.
it's
That
even
in
more,
the past kind of sucks, to be honest.
How about you, Robert?
I would shoot the person that offered me the opportunity and destroy the craft if possible.
Damn.
You destroy the craft. Jeez, he wouldn't even go anywhere. How about you, Carlos?
Like I was trying to come up with a why, but I wanted to say the past just to prove certain things are correct in history or wrong in history. But then I realized nobody cares. So I'd probably go to the future and just be like depressed even more. There's probably no food.
Yeah.
There's
No,
probably
there'll be food.
poor oxygen. I'll probably be prepared to die going to the future.
Um,
The minute
I've
you
been
stepped
there.
onto the
it's no fun being somewhere where you already know everything that's going to happen. It's no fun at all.
And then to see Trump statues all over the world and just see how depressing it is.
okay.
hilarious.
That's where I was
Guy,
when I.
you gentlemen just keep it dark no matter what the freaking question is, huh? Jesus.
I had a 3-day tour in hell last August, and that's where I was in the future.
In the future. I had a connection between the John Wick and the Neo.
Neo.
My understanding was that the world of John Wick was created in the Matrix so that Neo can just enjoy his time off.
It's like a really like cosplay type situation. Right?
And then what happened was that's why they announced both movies at the same time. Although now I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's interesting. All right, so Carlos, give us the last time you dressed up at a costume party, whether it's Halloween or just a regular costume. And what did you dress up as?
I created my own, like I face painted myself with a red cross on my face. But I mean, yeah, it was kind of like a cross. It was just something I created. It wasn't any particular thing.
Oh, okay. So you were the Red Cross.
Well, it was a little bit more. It looked a little bit more medieval than that.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you were the organization, the Red Cross.
No,
Something decidedly darker than that.
it to people looking at it, yes.
All right. What about you, Robert? What was the last thing you dressed up as, and what were you?
Uh,
When and what was it?
Oh, it was a long time ago.
And put it in the chat room too. The answer, your guys' answer.
It was in North Carolina,
Mhm.
and it was a costume party for everyone at the church. And I made a robot costume out of cardboard boxes. So I was inside, and I took a little alarm clock and I put it into the chest where the heart was, and that was it.
Okay. All right. What about you, Kai? What was the last time you dressed up, and what were you?
2 years ago, and I was a cat lady.
Really? You were in a cat suit?
Meow.
I so all the kids had cats with them. They decided they wanted to take the cats to trick or treat. So all the cats were dressed up, and I literally walked around with a big old bag that had cats all over it.
Oh, you was like an old
Oh,
cat lady. Oh,
Oh,
I'm thinking like, she wore a
sexy
cat
cat lady.
suit, and yeah, she's like, no, I was like an old lady with a bunch of cats.
I was a cat lady with a bunch of cats. Yeah. That included children and actual cats.
Funny, hilarious. What about you, Josh? What was you?
I don't remember what the last costume I wore for Halloween was last year, but I mean, it doesn't have to be the last one because I could tell you about the costume party I went to, but that was
Okay, do that.
ago. Okay, I was invited to a friend's birthday party, and upon arriving, I'm told, "Oh, it's a costume party," and here I am, not wearing any kind of costume. So, my friend's sister goes to her room, grabs some makeup, grabs a wig, and I was Gwen Stefani.
Whoa.
You was Gwen Stefani.
Okay.
All right.
How'd you pull it off?
I think I did fairly well.
Any pictures?
She's kind of hot, you know.
Not one.
I was gonna say, where's the picture?
Well, if they exist, I don't know where they are, and that's a good thing.
Did you at least
officers?
did you at least shave your legs?
No, it was all very last minute.
Oh, that's funny. He was Gwen Stefani. Last time I dressed up was last Halloween. I went to a Halloween hedge maze in Atlanta, and or a maze. I'm sorry, it wasn't a hedge maze. It was like a maze, and I was just like a serial killer guy with and it was freezing too that night. It was so cold. And I wanted to wear, I had like a mask, not like Scream, but it was like something like it, similar. and they wouldn't let me wear the mask, which was keeping me warm because they have rules about masks or whatever. So I thought I had figured out something to stay warm because you had to wait in the line to get into the place. But that was the last time I dressed up. Was last year. So
I do it every year, with the kids.
yeah. When did you stop? What age did you stop trick or treating?
Never.
You've trick or treated your whole life, never, no breaks?
Never any breaks. Because this is Florida, and people tend to have kids fairly early. So
Forever.
even those weird, ages where I shouldn't be trick or treating, I've always known somebody that had a kid, and they were very eager to say, "Oh yeah, sure, you can take him out trick or treating," and then they go off and get their drink on somewhere while I babysit.
Okay, I have a bone to pick with my mother, and I tell her about this all the time. I feel
This is
like
the place to-
she owes me 2 years of trick or treating because when I was a kid, I can't remember what exact age, but I still had about 2 more years of trick or treating left. And there was this big craze about razor blades in the candy.
Oh yeah.
So they made us stop she made me stop trick or treating. So I would tell her like, look, just let us get the candy. We could throw it away. We just wanted the experience of trick or treating. She wasn't having it, so I stopped prematurely, 2 years early. I feel like. So I always tell my mother about that. Like that's so wrong. So I don't know. So I guess when I have kids, I guess I'll get those years back. I guess.
I was 14, and it didn't look like I had a costume on, but I had a bomber jacket where the hood would zip up, and there's just a little opening. And they said, "What are you supposed to be?" And I'd say, "A terrorist." And I'd pull up my gun, which was really long barreled, squirt gun. So I was ahead of my time in doing that.
Being a terrorist.
Yes.
Wrong.
World's first terrorist. Hilarious.
I dressed up as a pregnant nun once.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Hilarious. By the end of the day, did you actually pop out a baby?
No, that would have been pretty gross.
Would have been funny though.
I would have to put in umbilical cords and everything.
That'd have been funny though.
At the height of the party, you just deliver.
Yeah. Like, oh, my water broke.
Is that I delivered all the candy that way?
Yeah. Oh man, it's funny. Has anyone ever done the what's that thing with the apples? What is
Bob
that
for apples?
Yeah,
Bobbing for apples?
Yeah.
Yeah, break your teeth on some apples.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Metallic apples.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I've done that before when I was a kid. Things you do when you're a kid. Now you can't do it no more. COVID, right?
That's right.
The thing about all the stuff is like no more, man, because of COVID.
Well, I mean, if they wear a mask and stay 6 feet away, I'll just throw masks into their baskets.
Because you can't be in the same apple bucket. Because you might. That would suck. You get COVID from bobbing for apples. I mean, think about it. Like all the different stuff is like no more now. There's no more bobbing for apples. No more. They said no more high fives anymore. Those are gone.
If the 90s didn't kill that code, it's not going to have a chance.
This is like, yeah, it's done. It's done, man. No more. Now it's fist bumps. Or
Not
air.
even.
It's not even that. It's air fist bumps. Like it's like, but you're like 6 feet away. You're like,
More for the more cynical among us. It's the age of the perpetual farm fertilizer spread version.
Hugs are like you're only gonna hug like your real close people.
Oh no, I would still hug strangers.
You would hug strangers?
Yes, I would.
All right. Look, he got his mask on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't hug anymore.
I know. I still hug.
That was me one year.
Oh,
Lovely.
oh wow, man! I like that
No,
look.
but here's the cool part: is hold on. When you turn off the lights, it glowed.
He glowed.
Whoa.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Holiday photos.
That's cool. That is.
So
Cool.
then that filters. That's how it glowed in the dark.
Oh, nice. Oh, and it's funny, and it's blending in.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's funny.
I got a mask too. See, look at my mask.
Home Depot.
Hmm.
You get the Home Depot mask. Is that what you're working with?
No.
Yeah, I got a mask. I had to get one. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have fun with that.
Hmm.
So, and I made a video with it already. Sent out privately, just to people that would have fun with that, and they did.
Mhm.
No, we're talking about La Corona. Can I talk to you about La Corona? La Corona.
Now, are you an
Oh my
artist? Are you
goodness.
an artist, Kaya?
Am I who?
An artist?
I consider myself a digital artist, but not like Mr. Phoenix there now.
She's
My
artistic.
kids have
Yes.
my kids got the artistic talent in the family.
Oh, okay. Because I see that
I can turn chicken scratch into beautiful artwork online.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what my sketches look like.
Oh, hey, can you show us some of your sketches? Let's
They're
see.
just logos and stuff. They're not anything. Right now what I'm working on as I'm talking to you guys is I'm supposed to be filling out a spreadsheet with 50 names of people that are going to leave reviews for my podcast.
Ah.
So,
Oh, okay.
What is your podcast?
Yes.
that's what I'm working on, Josh. Hence
Oh.
why I'm 2 weeks behind the rest of the class.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I want you to come on my show, Kaya.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
yay.
I'm still waiting to be
So it's
interviewed by you, Kaya.
It's a
Can you do
toss
that?
up between focusing on working just with Latina entrepreneurs or working with like the whole base of doing a Spanglish podcast geared towards entrepreneurs. So
Hmm.
that's where I'm at, because the gentleman teaching the class is very much like niche down, choose a specific niche, and I'm on the fence about it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I was at a class tonight. Ads for podcasts.
Oh,
It's a mini
Okay.
course in preparation for how. Oh, I can't say it. I almost said it. He said, "Don't say it. If it comes out, I know where it came from." And I almost went and said it. Never mind. But yeah, he's releasing something bigger later.
I
Soon.
think we all are podcasters. Are you a podcaster too, Robert?
Well, no, I was
Was-
I was a co-host on a YouTube show for 5 years. 5.5 years.
Yeah, you're a
One that was unfiltered, and we didn't worry about being politically correct. But we didn't attack anybody. We did make fun of ourselves often. That's where the humor was. Then there was a lot of humor, but we all did there was 3 hosts, and then once we ran out of funny stories, once I ran out of dating stories, and I had quite a few of them, then we began to get guests on, and those guests were people that we admired in the YouTube community, in the expat YouTube community in Japan, and some Japanese people too. And so we became a part of the J-Blog community back in the day, even though none of us had been to Japan. Well, I had been a few times, but
You said the J blog?
yeah, the J-Blog community. There's not much. It kind of imploded because some people were not being so authentic, and there was issues that they kind of ran away from that caught up with them in Japan, and that's when
When I think of J blog, I'm thinking like Jewish, like
no, it was a J-Blog.
because it's like the
or
J.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, yeah. J date.
J-Date. No, not J-Date.
I don't even know where to go from there.
It was
The dating part? Of course not.
it was Mully, a guy named Mully.
That was good. That was legs. That was a good one.
A guy named Mully coined the phrase the J-Blog community initially,
Mhm.
and he still does his stuff. His channel used to be called Warmoth Strat. Now it's called Mully's Place. YouTube made him wait a million years before he could get what he wanted.
Is that Barney Rebel?
That's Flintstone. That's me as Flintstone.
Oh,
Fred.
Fred Flintstone. My bad.
Fred, that's right. Fred.
I have a certificate of participation. Yay.
Oh,
This was when I became a best-selling author, international, in 5 categories.
congratulations, man. Hopefully my book will sell.
It can.
Yeah, I'm writing a book about the life of Carlos Phoenix.
Oh,
Good,
Jesus.
good.
Are you joining with Anna?
I will fully support you in that.
Yeah, it's called Phoenix Rising, the Carlos Phoenix story.
I'm adapting it to a screenplay.
It's entirely appropriate title.
Hey, who we gonna get to play Carlos?
Some fat guy.
Oh, Jack Black. Jack Black.
Nah, he's too good. He's too good.
Kaya, you would watch that one, wouldn't you? Right? Jack Black is Carlos Phoenix.
Nope. Maybe in the past I would have. Not anymore.
No, Jack Black. What about Oh, you mean just because it's a Carlos Phoenix movie?
Correct.
Oh, not because you hating on Jack Black. Okay.
Oh no. I'm hating on Carlos.
Everyone loves Carlos. Hey, that could be the name. Everybody loves Carlos.
Everyone loves Carlos.
Oh my God.
Well, it was that, when I Carlos was interviewed by Ken Walls. I think that's how I first came to know Carlos. And we connected, but when he started doing those lives from the back of his car, backseat of his car, I was around, and it's a live stream, so I'd go there, and often it was just me and Carlos, and it would be, Carlos was talking about something he's working on, and then it would be a cutscene to this, and we'd be like, "Whoa, that looks so good!" I'm like, "Wow, that's amazing!" All the little things he was doing, and then when I heard divorce, and I think, "Oh shit," I know what that's like. Well, that allowed me to feel even more purposeful in developing a friendship with Carlos, because I felt I could be of comfort and support.
Kaya, if Carlos tomorrow knocked on your front door,
Oh jeez.
would you let him in, or would you tell him he had to
Make an appointment.
quarantine for 14 days before you would see him?
That's a long time to wait.
Let's see. I don't know, Carlos. What do you think? You think I'd let you in my house?
I'm not in this conversation.
You're totally in it.
He's avoiding the conversation.
I'm not in the conversation.
Did I embarrass you, Carlos?
No.
No.
Carlos doesn't get embarrassed.
Carlos, I think, had ample time and opportunity to do that, and he didn't. So I'd probably say thank you for visiting.
Okay, what if he was flying to South America, but his plane got to
the whole other side of the freaking country?
Right.
What kind of pilot is that?
So he's like, "Hey, I have a layover for like 2 days, so I'm coming over. I need somewhere to kick it for 2 days.
Oh, man. You might get in trouble.
Can I kick it?"
I would go visit you if I had the means.
Steven says,
but I
can, the front porch ? I wait.
I feel that I can effectively visit anyone via this kind of format.
So
that I can connect
if he
effectively.
was stuck in Modesto, which I doubt that would ever happen, but if he was stuck in Modesto and he showed up more than once, I'd probably let him in. But if he just showed up at my door once, I'd say no.
Oh, you gotta make an attempt that's gonna fail, and then make a second attempt that maybe will succeed.
Correct. I'm not that mean.
Does he need to have
oh my
something?
gosh,
Does he need to
try
have
it again?
Does he need to have something like I don't know, some sort of peace
All
off?
right, you do realize that this entire show now is turning into this conversation. It's like,
Hey, I'm just trying to figure
That's
it out.
because, Carlos, you're the only one in denial about this whole
geez.
situation. So every time you show up
oh.
and I'm there, or you're there and I'm there, this
Hi,
happens.
Maya.
My
Maya.
Nile, just the river and Egypt.
What? What?
I said
Ah.
it's not just a river in Egypt.
Ha ha.
Oh, and in case you're curious, there's single coil, 6.5 millimeter in diameter, on the deck of this thing, of the Titan.
Hmm.
And when I put that in the group in Facebook, people were laughing. 6.5 millimeter. I got to see this. I'll show them. I just didn't feel like my favorite build in the Titan is a series build, dual coil series, and it vapes great. You crank it up to 100 watts. It's nice and smooth. But I like the new tanks that Steam Crave came out with. I'm just deciding which one I want. Do I want the Plus, the new Plus, or do I want that other one?
Steven.
So Carlos, if I showed up at your door, would you let me in?
Of course. No hesitation.
Aw, I feel bad now.
It's okay. I don't expect people to be like me.
Does she need to have anything with her, or
Have anything?
come as you are?
Clothing? I don't know.
I mean, like a gift.
What do you mean? Oh, gifts?
Yeah,
Oh,
pink champagne.
12 long stem red roses.
oh, geez. No.
Just for me personally. I love those things.
Come as you are.
No, like
bought
today, for example,
See,
No,
I
I
think you say you'd let me in, but I don't think you would.
oh, absolutely. No question. No hesitation. I mean, that doesn't mean it makes sense to say no.
I've offered to fly out there, and you've said no.
But that's
Oh, but that makes him that requires him to examine his self-esteem and self-worth issues that he's not talking about because of his divorce. That not that he has some, but he does have some.
hold on. The scenario is you show up at my door. Would I ever deny you? Never. What does it say?
Don't warn him.
Not the cat lady suit. Hilarious.
Funny. I gotta
I'm
go get
gonna
another
order a Catwoman suit just for you guys.
one. Wow.
Just
All right. And no,
That's funny.
hey, no one will disagree with it. Not at all. Not at all.
oh my gosh.
Well, now you
I
know.
don't think I've ever dressed up as a female superhero character
nice.
ever.
So that's a Catwoman right there.
Mhm.
I seen a woman once at a party. She was female Freddy Krueger, and
Really?
like sexy female Freddy Krueger, and she was looked really good. I was like, oh man, how do you pull that off?
And then there's another Catwoman.
Hmm.
There's actually artwork.
Oh wow.
So the reason I like Catwoman in terms of artwork is because it's so much about the physique,
Mhm.
and I like drawing the physique.
Mhm. I can understand that. Working.
Would anybody ever pose nude for a world-renowned artist to draw to paint?
Can I be high?
Should I say the truth, Carlos?
Yeah.
Huh?
I was asking Carlos a question. He didn't hear me, so never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
I said, should I share some of the truth?
No, what truth?
Oh, you posed already for.
Well,
No,
Carlos used himself as a model.
I use myself as a model often.
Would you at any point of your life, we'll say that, would you have ever posed nude for a world-renowned artist to? What about you, Josh?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. That means he's painting everything.
No, I would hope so.
Okay, no skipsies.
You can't deny this to the world. It's
We'll say Carlos, well-renowned. I was pretty happy with posing for my neighbor.
Yeah, me too. But they weren't painting; they were just peeking out their windows at me at night.
We'll
But
save.
I didn't
We'll save Kaya for last. What about you, Carlos? Would you, at any point in your life, would you have ever posed for a world-renowned artist naked?
I mean, I've posed for artists. I can't say completely naked. No, underwear,
Okay, all right.
and I post for myself the same way.
Oh, okay. So you would
I think this is myself.
really, and you're not dressed that much.
No, well, you see, you gotta understand. Like 99% of all the paintings I've done, people were naked.
Hmm.
Are they naked in the painting? No.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
So I paint the costume on the bodies that they posed.
Right.
Yeah, and that they were naked in your bedroom while you painted, drew them, always made me.
So you guys get into these weird
There's
imaginations.
a lot of energy in that bedroom.
Kaya,
I've posed naked before.
really? And where's the piece at?
I want to see.
I don't know.
Like somebody jumped in too. They was like Steven just jumped in on that one. Oh, look at it, he's naked. Carlos, can you get out your sketch pad?
Steven wants to pose right now.
Do you
Like,
do you have your sketch pad ready, Carlos?
Now we're
Steven, are you
drawing
just
on the iPad.
shirtless or are you naked?
No, so no, I'm shirtless.
Okay.
I had to think it through before I looked down, just in case. Now it's actually so I was working out, and it's super hot here. What is that?
Nice.
Ooh,
That's a sketch I did of a woman. I drew her as a Catwoman.
Oh, nice. All right.
Geez, you're talented.
You're very talented.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, unbelievable. The Catwoman things were nice too. Yeah, I actually
it's getting warmer in here.
that's a pencil
Yes.
or rock on.
Wow. So, Kaya, where can we find? I think we missed it.
I'm still waiting for my painting to be given to me. So we'll see if the artist ever finishes.
Well, let me just get a reproduction. So,
This was my first digital nude. I don't know if it's coming out right. Hold on, let me lower that.
It's too bright.
Yeah, it's too bright.
Nice.
oh wow, nice.
So it's drawn on an iPad.
Your models were well constructed.
Well, I used to go to the gym just to meet models that were well fit.
I used to go to the gym just because I enjoyed it. I did meet a lot of people, and I developed an appreciation for a solidly built woman with an ass you can bounce a quarter off of.
You get bouncing.
So here's another example of a nude woman, but with costume on.
Nice.
I remember the Chinese powerlifter. She was so hot.
In my adult life, that's the first time I've heard that phrase.
Chinese powerlifter.
She was so hot.
She was so hot with the Chinese powerlifter.
Wow.
Check that one off.
Some interesting.
I don't like skin. I'm not a fan of skinny, but under the right circumstances, can look alright. My wife, my last wife, was she was slim, but she looked damn good naked. She just didn't know it. She knows it now. But, she had this poor body self-image, and because her confidence was being attacked by her parents all the time, and that, well, I can do that because she's not going to talk about that with her parents.
I think I'm the only person in this conversation who hasn't been married yet.
You're probably right.
What?
I think. Yeah.
Have you been in any long-term relationships?
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Okay. Well, I've
What's
never
the
been
longest?
married. I've been in 2 very long relationships.
I've been around a whole bunch of short ones.
Never been married.
What's the longest relationship you've been in?
9 years.
I would say 2.5 years off and on.
Wow. 20 for me.
11.
About 10.
Wow.
Yeah, for me, it's 9.
so probably about 10, maybe even 15 for me. So, yeah, it sounds like Kinte. I think there's wisdom in the transient, and I don't mean this with any negative slant whatsoever, but the transient dating culture. Japan and Korea are both at risk of depopulation over this next generation. because people just aren't getting married. They're dating, they're plugging in online, but there's something about this generation that's got their own thing, and I'm not sure it's not smarter than the path I was on, or my generation at least.
Tokyo's supposed to be an amazing place to be if you're single.
Yeah, Tokyo is unbelievably expensive. It's so expensive.
It can be. I mean, I know I've been there, and it sure as hell could be unbelievably expensive. But if I went to the grocery store instead of, I avoided the fancy places. I couldn't even afford to walk into those. But the grocery store I could go in, and if you go close to closing, they sell off all the fresh food at half price at the back, and you have to beat off the seniors if you want to get some.
All right, let me ask Kaya this question. You were together with your man for 7 years?
First relationship, I was in a long-term relationship with 7 years. The second one was 11.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about that. Do you feel like, did guys hit on you as much during that 11 years, or did they hit on you more once you became single?
The same.
About the same?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And were you like?
I've always been very social, and some people take that as being flirtatious. And I'm always very friendly and willing to help people. And sometimes people take that to mean something else. So that's one of the things that I don't know. I feel like I've gotten better at creating boundaries with people and letting them know that I'm in a relationship.
It reminds me of that time my grandmother listened to OMD and she goes, "You mistook my lust for love." That's cute.
Lust for love. Oh man. Oh nice.
But yeah, so whoever I end up dating, I need to make sure that they're pretty comfortable with themselves and aren't insecure, because that was one of the big issues I had in my last long-term relationship.
Yeah, you have a nice.
Don't worry, I've talked to you, the next person you're dating, and he's totally secure.
Yeah, so
secure. He just lives kind of far from you.
Yeah, they have to be happy within their own skin.
So yeah, I didn't say the name. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Right? Kente, you're marrying us off already, and he wants nothing to do with me. I've already expressed this to you.
Whatever, man.
It's true.
He's just playing hard to get.
Just know I'll be there to support him. Just know that.
He said if you showed up, you're in.
And you know what? If y'all do get married, I will pay for the Tupac impersonator to do your number.
The Tupac impersonator.
I'll take care of
it. Log on for the live stream.
Don't worry, I got it. I'll take care of that bill. That's one bill y'all won't have to worry about.
Is it going to be you?
As the Tupac impersonator?
Yeah.
No, I'll get a professional Tupac.
No, he will not confirm or deny.
No, I'll get a professional Tupac impersonator. And, okay, if you can have any band be at your wedding, well, what band would it be?
Public Enemy.
Public Enemy, that'd be fucking dope, man. Don't believe the hype.
Man, I can't think of a band.
Actually, I know for the reception, I got an LMT connection for sure.
All right, let's guess. Okay, let's guess what Carlos would want. What band Carlos?
As far as what?
At his wedding.
A band.
Okay, so yeah, he would like. Well, Jerry Garcia's dead, so not the Grateful Dead. Hanson. Look, like they'd be like little umbop.
Okay, taking age into consideration, I'm gonna say REO Speedwagon.
Wow.
Ah, that might be REO Speedwagon.
It didn't get shut down. I'm gonna count that as a win.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Yes, they're
No.
dancing for you.
I'm gonna throw bands out, and you tell us if we're warm. Okay.
A band that I would want, the closest thing I would want in a wedding as a band, Bruno Mars.
Okay. Bruno Mars. All right. All right. So
How appropriate.
let's figure out who Kaya would want at her wedding. What if she can have any band? Any band. Of course, they gotta be living though. We're not gonna do the dead game because then it's
Okay.
So let's say she would like to have. Let's see. Kaya probably likes. She probably likes alternative music, maybe. No.
Wow. Okay.
She probably likes something not real upbeat, maybe.
So someone's gonna play like a wedding dirge.
Slipknot. Not
No.
Did you say Slipknot?
Yeah.
Pantera and Metallica.
No. She did give us a big, huge clue.
Wait, what? Oh yeah.
I did.
Did
Yeah.
you?
Lilith
What?
Fair, your first concert.
Oh right. Okay, so then it's probably gonna
Fiona
be
Apple.
Fiona Apple.
Wow.
I wouldn't have said that.
That's who I did.
Alanis Morissette.
If I could get any singer that's still alive, it would be Jewel.
Jewel. Okay.
Mm.
All right, Jewel. Okay.
Oh, I like Jewel. She's great.
All right. So
She's a great yodeler. I recorded her yodeling when she came to Modesto.
She and her dad.
Okay.
Frankly Beverly
Well, I
Mays.
wasn't thinking yodeling, but okay.
Frankly Beverly Mays. So that's right. Yep. See, we can totally get married. Frankly Beverly Mays. Okay, so let's guess what Josh. Well, I know what Josh's is, so it's not
Okay.
bad.
Let's.
So I can't say it. But what do you guys think? Just from the little bit of seeing Josh tonight, what band would he want at his wedding?
King
Who's
Crimson.
playing music?
King Crimson.
Fish.
Fish. You want to take a crack at it, Carlos? What do you think Josh would want? What band he would want?
Oh, geez. I don't even know what he likes.
I mean, just by looking at him, what do you think?
Hold on a second. I have to turn myself off.
He's in his mid-30s.
Oh, thank you.
So he's in his mid-30s. So that means he graduated what?
2000.
2000. Okay.
In the year 2000.
Wait, what came out in 2000? Who Let the Dogs Out? I think came out in 2000. The Baja Men.
I'm going to say Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
I mean, it's not a terrible choice.
You like country, Josh?
You know, I can get down with some Johnny Cash and Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, things like that.
Sublime.
Sublime's dead.
I know, but okay. I guess I kind of ruined the one. I think Blink 182.
It would definitely be on the short list.
What's the number one?
Well, the right answer is obviously Blue Man Group.
Blue Man Group. That'd be crazy.
They're going under.
Slipknot.
Negotiating.
Would you want Slipknot though?
Okay, so we lost Carlos, right? His
Yeah,
son, who's taking a call.
Yeah, you would want Slipknot though, right?
Just to see the reactions from some family members, I would go for that.
Oh man, that would be funny though.
Guys, let me spit it out with you.
Or White Snake. Since you said spit it out.
You said Whitesnake?
Yeah, I said White Snake. Because they have a song called Spit It Out.
Maybe I can get Rage Against the Machine to appear.
That'd be fucking
Ooh.
awesome.
Nice.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, man, killing in the name of. That'd be our
Right.
dance.
The wedding
Michael
march.
Bublé. That would be a good wedding.
Velvet cords.
Michael Bublé.
How about Richard Cheese and Lounge Against the Machine? But nobody listens to Richard Cheese?
I don't know if I do or not.
Okay.
Who's that?
Essentially, it's a cover band. It's a lounge act that covers, like Disturbed and Nirvana and things like that.
Yeah, I love Disturbed.
But it's got a whole Frank Sinatra, have a drink vibe.
I want to hear their Teen Spirit.
Have you seen the remake of Dawn of the Dead?
Oh yeah.
In the opening sequence, it has that cover of Down with the Sickness.
Right.
That's them.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good movie. That's an underrated movie. That's a good one. That is a good one.
Has anybody used ADD moment? I'm looking at something here. Friend filter. It's supposed to be an add-on to Facebook.
No.
Friend Finder or Friend Filter?
Friend filter.
Okay.
It'll help you get through your list of friends.
It's a suggested tool that I use from this class that I'm doing. So I'm like, I don't know what this
I know of an app called Friend Finder that lets you target friends with.
It says remove any friends who aren't engaging on your profile on autopilot.
Oh, yeah. This is
So you do you have developer credentials on Facebook?
No.
I didn't know that they had that.
Yeah.
They do.
So what you can do, you can go into your settings, and I'll have to hash back through this. But my Messenger, if somebody engages 3 or more times, it just pops up and says thank you, and it also sends a welcome message to people that send a friend request or people that accept a friend request. And that's done through Facebook natively, so you don't need an application. But I can't remember where it is in the settings offhand.
I was in the Facebook developer menu by accident. I just went too far and I can do this. I've been beta testing, since you can do that. Since I found.
So if you're tinkering with a lot of that stuff, you can utilize a lot of the open source stuff on your profile without consequence. Okay. So it's kind of fun. It gets kind of it can get tedious if you forget you got stuff running, and too much medicine.
Yeah, that always seems to happen right when you want to connect with someone, and this huge, beautiful conversation can happen, but you've got everything screwed up, and there's no way you can put it right before coming back. But I have AppTwin for that. I could do that. AppTwin on my phone, so I had it. That's a great app. I love that.
I'm just going through a deep dive of podcasting and ended up doing this class with Jamie Atkinson.
Oh yeah,
it's the first time I do a course with him. So
I gave my
one of the suggested things.
What are you using for your deep dive?
Well, I signed up to do his 28-day course, and we are on week 3, but I'm literally 10 days behind everybody else. So I'm just trying to catch up with all the assignments he has on here. It's the first time I've taken a class with a marketer who's so organized and on point with having everything structured. His lessons are very well structured, and I'm up to this point really happy with the content I'm consuming.
Oh, Nate, I think Jamie's an Infusionsoft guy. I don't remember for certain, but I think so. And Kinte, I'm so sorry for steering this in a techie direction.
No, you're good, man.
I met the vice president.
It's dating, it's marketing, it's life, it's everything, right? Kinte?
Everything you want.
Yeah, we had a nice conversation. It was a cool guy.
Yeah,
it was way beyond what I wanted to do. It was pretty expensive then, but he still gave me the full demo anyways. I told him right at the start. I just wanted to learn more. I'm curious, and so we were talking back and forth. I said, "You have that radio station announcer voice, you know. Do you do public speaking?" And he laughed and he says, "Yeah." And we started talking about that, and it's just one of those things. I
Yeah,
feel like-
yes. For inbound marketing, Infusionsoft is still probably and HubSpot are the most powerful tools on the market. I think as Salesforce becomes a little more nimble, because they've got the big data title. You know, that was the Mark Benioff Luttrell. That's Oracle, Salesforce. We're battling out for footing in the big data space. And Salesforce walked away. So they've got the data sets now that you can utilize for all your marketing purposes. Very accessible. There's a learning curve. So when Kaya says she's doing a deep dive, somebody like Salesforce is going to have all the information already. And probably if you've got a minimal subscription, you've got access to like Cambridge Analytica type data sets for, just at your disposal. It's also a way to jack Facebook ads to go in and use their data sets. But it's kind of,
I used to love to go to applymagicsauce.com. I went all the time. That, would give you a base on your likes, your Facebook likes and dislikes and that, and your Twitter data. It would give you a personality assessment.
I'm not familiar with that.
They get Cambridge University, rather in England. Applymagicsauce.com was the URL. The thing is still there, but you can't. When the big scandal came out with big data,
that was Cambridge Analytica. They were scraping data from Facebook, which is not uncommon. They just got caught.
And OkCupid, I had a profile on OkCupid.
Yeah.
20 years. That's the only one I actually had. I didn't go seeking anyone on it because that was a waste of time. I just let them message me, and if they messaged me, I went out with them once just to see what was up. Sometimes more than once.
Hey, Josh, what do you have a dating profile? You're on mute, by the way. Oh,
Okay, you were saying?
Do you have a dating profile on any of those apps?
I got a couple.
Oh, okay. Which ones?
I don't know.
Christian Mingle,
Facebook?
Plenty of Fish,
No.
Tinder, Grindr.
No, those don't sound familiar. Something about bagels?
Bagels.
I don't know. I don't keep up with that stuff. I made it, just to see
What's out there?
there. Since
Hearing stuff like that, Josh, gives me no hope, because then I'm going to look at a profile next time and be like, did this guy really take it seriously making his profile, or he was just like, oh, let me throw something up there? I always question that.
I looked at the profiles from Ari, and I was left with a lot of questions. Like, how does one wear a thong maybe 3 sizes too small for you, holding a beer saying, I love Jesus, with the kids in the background rolling a blunt?
Okay.
You sound like a winner to me.
Where where are you at, Josh?
Jacksonville?
Where in the world are
Oh yeah, Florida's crazy. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I have friends near Orlando, one near campus, or I've known them for quite a while, and yeah, I mean, I used to go to Florida. My grandparents used to live there, but he said, yeah, Florida's insane.
Do you know that there's more Dateline episodes and ID channel episodes that emanate from Florida than any other place?
Yeah, it's no surprise.
Yeah,
Valentine's
People
Day
are nuts
presents last year.
it's crazy.
22 round magazines for the Glocks to each other. That was their Valentine's Day present to my friends, a couple in Florida.
Now, I will say that when I put up the profile, and it's been, a couple years, and hasn't really gotten any kind of traction, whatever. But when I went on vacation last year to Pennsylvania and Ohio, I started getting alerts left and right. Like, what? I've been in Cleveland for 2 days, and I suddenly got all these people that want to meet me.
Well, to keep that in mind for the
See,
future.
Cleveland rocks, huh?
Cleveland rocks.
I guess a lot of people love that show. Thank you, Drew Carey. Thank you.
Yeah, wow. Huh.
Excellent version of that song by the Presidents of the United States of America.
I know that group.
So do Kaya, do older guys or younger guys hit on you the most?
Oh wow, that's an interesting question. So if I'm out and about, I tend to get hit on by younger guys.
Mhm.
I always wonder if it's because I'm with my daughter.
Mm.
So that's one. But online, it's usually older guys.
Oh, okay. Like way older or like
In their 50s.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I find the same.
about 10 years older.
oh, okay.
Get hit on.
So
by
like,
most
so like
older guys.
Carlos' age.
I was going to say that. I got
Yeah.
hit on the other morning by an older guy. He got right to the point. He goes, "I want to make love to you,"
Oh, Jesus.
At least it was love.
and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not on here for that." And he's like, "Goodbye, bye."
So when I was younger and I'd go on dating sites, like the first time around I ever went on dating sites, I was like 25. And I remember getting hit on by a lot of couples because back then you couldn't like segment if you were a couple, and now you can. Now you can say, it's an open relationship couple type of thing. Back then it was either you're into men or you're into women. And who are you trying to date? And there'd be these people who had profiles and they'd be like, oh, my wife and I, or my girlfriend and I.
Yeah, we're looking for we're looking for the meat in our sandwich.
That's actually pretty sweet though, because they want to share what
No,
love
it's
they
not.
have.
That's
They want to
freaking
share the
freaky
love they
shit
have.
I'm not into.
Yeah, my wife's best friend. We wanted her to come visit, like really for real. And she was, when push came to shove.
Have a grown-up conversation. It should be like rated R.
Yeah, well, she's bisexual, but she is, and so is the wife, and we've been good. And the wife's the top, so she would have been quite happy. That's all I can say. So too would I have been enjoying that. She's very sensuous, her best friend, very very sensuous, and she could pick me up like I weighed nothing when I was 240.
Really?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever been hit on by the same sex?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I have.
Constantly.
Never.
Most of the time, it's those messages that Ryan seems to be jealous of. That he says he doesn't get to. Why don't I get messages like that? I don't know.
I've never had I never had a guy do that. I was told by a gay guy that they know who to hit on, who not to hit on.
I know we
remember how I said
I don't think that's true. I get hit on by girls all the time. And
well,
I think it's different though with girls because I feel like I think a lot of they think that any girl can be brought to the dark side.
I think I know why.
The dark side.
Remember
what
when
did I walk into on that one?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, being a lesbian versus being a gay guy is much more of a commitment. Because
how is that?
Well, it depends. It depends.
I'm about to explain.
I'm about to explain. Any area is a commitment.
No, it's much more.
No matter whether it's men or women or
if you're being yourself.
Hold on. Let's Kente give his expert commentary on the gay community.
Women, it's all surface. It's all surface, right? It's when it's a guy and a guy, that's commitment. That means he's, that means
so you're talking about penetration,
right?
That's not always what it means.
So that's why, like, if you notice, and I'm not trying to be homophobic or whatever. If you notice, like, a woman can be like mess with a girl for like 10 years and then all of a sudden just be straight for the rest of her life.
Yep.
Most guys, the minute it's like The Walking Dead, like once you're bit by the zombie, you're like,
life.
Yeah, right.
I know men that are bisexual.
A lot of closet cases.
Okay, look, I've said this before, and they jumped on me. I feel like once you mess with a dude, you gay. I mean, you're not. You like.
I think that's a
committed
male
to being-
chauvinist perspective of males
I know.
who are not
saying, man.
male-ish.
I'm
You know,
saying once you're with a girl, you're committed to
the hottest
time.
guy at any gay bar.
No, I'm
And
saying.
never kiss the straight guy that seems straight.
I'm saying.
That's in a general sense.
Once a guy has like.
Okay, I'm gonna keep listening. I'll be right back because I'm supposed to start dinner, and my kids are gonna kill me if I don't put something on the stove. So I'll be right back. I'll keep
And what I
listening.
mean by that, from their perspective, because I had many friends that are part of that community, and they said, yeah, it's the guys that can come off as straight, even though they aren't. It increases their appeal, like from just.
I mean, hey, to each his own. But
It's like a little kink from the gay person's perspective.
But it's funny though when they talk about homophobia. Like, I think if you're a real straight guy who knows what he likes, you're not.
There's no
afraid.
thing.
There's no fear because think about it like this. Okay, guys, if you're on a plane and it crash lands and the only three survivors is you, this really hot chick, and a gay guy, you are laughing your ass off because it's like zero competition, right? You want what you got, you don't want what she got, So you're sitting there.
Yeah, but you're gonna wake up with a wet ass.
No phobia there. You don't have to worry about him trying to encroach on your vagina, So
it's not your vagina.
It'll be your mangina.
Oh my god.
But check this out, though.
You'll all love each other at the end of the day, or you'll all.
But check this
you'll all
out.
perish, so.
You crash land on an island.
Mhm.
You don't know what I'm about to say.
You
You crash land on the island, right? Okay, here's the scenario. Steven, you crash land on an island, and it's this beautiful chick.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And as you know, the only thing you know is you two are the only survivors, right? And she's all looking at you with these deer eyes, like, because you're like you know how to make a fire, and you're being like all aggressive, like, yeah, you're like you're making a tarp, you're turning a tarp into a fucking tent, and she's getting wet because it's like oh, you're being that you're on that man shit, right? So she's only got and you're the only dude as far as you know, right? So you're like, ha ha ha, right? Ha ha ha. I'm the only guy on this island. But fuck. And someone else who's a passenger washes up on shore. And it's like, pick your pick, Idris Elba or Chris Hemsworth or, one of those guys. So now it's like, fuck what you're talking about.
But well, I wouldn't see it that way, but
now she's all like, yeah, you had me until
I would be to her. I say,
so
you
now
want me, you better show me how you can help around here, and you better be productive. I don't want any couch potatoes.
But you know what though? And that's when you go for a hike with Chris Hemsworth, and you push him off the cliff.
Okay. This is a very personal thing, isn't it?
First of all, what's your problem with Chris Hemsworth? I said, first of all, what's your problem with Chris Hemsworth?
Or Idris Elba or whatever guy the hot chick is into.
Second of all, you're making a lot of assumptions that you would get better allowed to touch the hot chick in the first place.
I'm just saying you've established, like, let's just say there was a connection before he washed up on shore. Like she was like, oh wow, you're my hero, you're saving the day. Wow, she's all like wet and shit. But then Idris Elba washes up on shore or whoever, your guy or whatever. And then now you're just, you're outside of the tent while they're getting it on, looking like Boo Boo the Fool.
And I'm supposed to murder someone for that?
No, I'm joking. Of course you know.
Hi, Monica.
Because you want to see, hey, Monica, hop in, Monica. You want to see Luther season
Yes, please, Monica.
Oh my god!
Hey,
All I want to
So,
say
Brian-
about this is that Kinte, it will get better.
There was
And-
a show
and
that covered
you're
this.
younger than me. I can relate to what you're
oh
saying.
wow, that didn't.
I'm just saying.
There was that. There
I'm
was
just
a
being
TV
serious
show
here.
for a while about a guy who was like supposed to be the last man in the world,
Last
and
Man
then
on Earth.
there's a woman. Okay, yeah,
No.
and it's kind of like that scenario where you see there's just one woman and one guy, and then eventually a third character is introduced into the show, and it becomes this like crazy dynamic of who belongs with who.
I'd probably kill myself.
Yeah.
Not enough people.
But see though, I don't know. Like, okay, Carlos.
Yes.
All right. So a bunch of people land on this island, right?
Okay.
And it's like Lord of the Flies up on there, right? Okay. So everybody got to have something to contribute to the group, right? To survive. What would be your best skill that would help the group survive? What could you add? What could you add? What are you good at that the group would be like, okay, I'm glad Carlos is here.
I think I'd be dead. I'm like, I don't eat seafood, so I'm not gonna get you seafood. B, there better be some pigs or something on the island or whatever it is, because that's all.
Is
I'm gonna
Carlos
bite into
muted?
that.
I can't hear him.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Let me do that real quick. Hold on a second. Remove and then bring Ray back. There you go. Can you hear him now? Well, he is-
Yes, you can hear me.
He's being silly.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So far, so good.
Uh-huh. So basically, you're no
What
help.
was the skill set you're bringing to the table?
Let's see. Bring to the table in this kind of scenario.
We're stranded in an island. What the fuck are you gonna do?
You could reconstruct the plane
I mean,
on the beach. That would
probably
be
like things I would be good at is carpentry. So I could probably build, because I used to build sets. So how different can it be, right? Outside of just building the materials. So I think
you
I'm
could
pretty
build a
slick on
home.
that.
You could build a home that blends right into the surroundings, and no one would know it was there.
Yeah, I mean there'd be shelter. Aside from that, weaponry. I would be able to create like arrows and things of that nature because I used to do props. Are they props that can actually kill? I don't know. I never made props that had to kill anybody.
I suspect.
But,
I suspect you could do that though.
Yeah, I mean it just takes a little bit more reinforcement. So stuff. I mean stuff like that. Would I call that survival skill? I don't know. To some extent, yes.
No, that's
Now, am I a
the
hunter?
first thing.
Am I a hunter? If I'm hungry, I'm definitely going to be a hunter. But chances are I probably wouldn't be hunting for anybody else but myself.
You could probably make some really cool traps.
Look at Kaya's reaction.
Well, just as a side note, if
Wow.
if
It's a joke.
just as a side note, if Carlos,
Don't lie. That's
Kaya.
true.
just as a side note, Kaya, if Carlos hunted and killed the pig, and then he brought it to you, would you know what to do with the pig?
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Even I would know what to do with the pig.
All right. I mean, it's a work, man. You gotta like skin that thing.
That is a lot of
skin
work.
it and cut the head off and get the guts out and yeah, I'd be down.
I'd keep the head.
Oh, and put it on the pike, like a Lord of the Flies. All right.
Eat the brains.
What about you?
That's where all the
Steven?
nutrients are.
If you crash landed on an island, what would your skill set would be to the group that would help?
Yeah, sure. So I think in terms of cultural economies, kind of an overview, and I say this as an adult. In my 20s, my thinking would have been completely different than it is now. I would have been more competitive, probably a little more self-indulgent when I was younger. Now, I would think in terms of what the group needs. And when you think of social economies, you're thinking of spiritual, mental, physical, emotional and financial. Since financial is probably off the table in survival mode, you've got the other four to contend with. And I would tend to fill in wherever the group need wasn't met, whether that was, let's keep in touch with God to help us get off this or survive it. Let's nurture each other through whatever this thingy is. In terms of physical, we're talking about not only being fed, but if someone's sick or needed to be tended to, you've got to address all of these things. And I think globally that whatever the need is, I would try to make it a point to meet that. Keeping my ego in check, because now my benchmark is mindfulness, recognizing that there's always an ego in play, and to keep mine out of it whenever possible. So whatever the group need is, I would look for that. If it was to be a hunter, if it was to be the prayer leader, if it was to be the camp psychiatrist or psychologist, whatever the need is, I would try to gravitate to that, and just keep my ego out.
This Army knife, basically.
I would aspire to. I can't say that I would thrive in any of the positions, but I would do my best to fill in those voids, whatever they might be.
Okay. All right. What about you, Robert? What would you add to the group?
Oh, well, I know how to do a lot of things. Not as many as Stephen does yet. Mechanically, I'm very good. Mechanically inclined, always have been. So I can build shelter. I can build traps. I can rebuild people emotionally, and because I had to rebuild myself more than once, and I had professional assistance in doing that. But while it was going on, I savored every word, because that was expensive therapy. For me, proportionally, $93 an hour when I was making $11 an hour was a big deal, and I savored every word. And actually, because I surprised the psychologist, because I was so open and transparent and completely coachable, I got a lot more assistance than you could expect or would expect. And that's why I was able to date that woman that I had become obsessed with. I did exactly what
your story ends with some woman. I noticed that.
I mean, I hadn't dated her before, but I used to tell her, I used to make up bedtime stories for her every night on the fly.
Aww.
And she loved them, because I knew I knew what she wanted, and I could make up the story that at the end scares her just enough so that she wants to hide under the covers, and she liked those stories every night, and they just kind of flowed freely. But one night she said, "Why don't you let me call you for a change?" And she was all of a sudden, I was like, and I was devastated.
All right, Josh, what about you? What would you add to the group?
I would be, let's see, my strongest skill would probably be, we'll say, casting.
Casting.
Will it be a couch?
Well, my strongest asset is, I guess, a person in some sort of hierarchy situation has always been to get the right people to do the right work. So being able to efficiently get people to do the jobs that they're best at would probably be the job that I'm best at. I got, I went through basic training. I got some.
That's a good job to be good. That's a good.
But you in the Army?
Yeah, sort of. Long story. I think I've mentioned it before, but yeah, and it doesn't even mean be like leader of the group as much as sometimes you even have to find the right person that can take charge,
Hmm.
which
So you'd be like the glue in the group.
yeah, I guess so. And then at night, I'll recreate episodes of Seinfeld for everybody.
Oh, shoot, that'd be funny. All right, now, that's funny. I thought for a minute, Kai, I thought you were smoking because you had. Was that a stylist? Because you had it like this, like you were just like, yeah. I thought you were smoking for a minute, but then I was like, oh, that's a stylist. So, all right. So, what would you bring to the group, Kai?
I would cook.
Birth.
No. I don't like cooking, but I do know how to. And let's see. So whenever I've been in a emergency type situation, I've always been the person that's been calm and looked at everything that was going on and just fit myself in the places that are needed, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I tend to be very versatile in emergency type situations. I do know a lot about health, and while I wouldn't say I'd perform surgery, but if somebody's hurt, definitely find ways to make them feel better.
Aw.
Those are things that I'm good at.
I like the word
And
versatile.
I'm a really good massage therapist, so I find myself, even when I'm in group gatherings, I just want to touch people.
Oh, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
I like
No,
being touched.
even now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like being touched either, but hugs I like. I like hugs. I like handshakes.
Oh.
I love being touched. It depends on who's doing the touching. You know? Some people you're like, yeah, touch me, and other people you're like, back away, 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet.
Hey, there's energy healing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to
Reiki,
touch you.
like Reiki.
Reiki. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about looking into that.
My mother does Reiki. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think mine would be leadership. I'm definitely. I'll be good as far as keeping people in line, making sure they are, on the right path and all of that good stuff. So I think that'd be my main thing.
I can see that.
And I can delegate pretty well. So I'll be like, all right, Josh, I need you to do Seinfeld tonight.
Yeah, delegation is a skill. It's a valuable skill to have to delegate properly. Just saying. Not when I haven't had anything I needed to delegate, or at least I didn't think so. Probably I did. I just didn't realize it.
You be doing Carlos? Would you be doing Let's Get to Know Each Other podcast on the island though? But I mean, it wouldn't be broadcast.
Really?
Everywhere.
What would be the point?
It'd just be like we're just gonna do a live show for entertainment for everybody.
And then production would have to be spot on every night.
But like we only can do like 2 Latin thought makers because there's only like 2 Latins on this plane that survive.
Oh, but then you can say, okay, I want you to play this person tonight. So act as this person, and then you can be another thought maker.
Oh wait, so in this scenario, we're stuck with the people that are on this show.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting.
It would be.
That's scary.
Yeah. So
yes, you'll be scared. I promise. I
Yeah.
promise you. At least when I come around.
Conversations around the campfire will be interesting.
yeah, like remember when we were not on this island, and we were basically doing what we're doing now in person.
It just makes me think of Gilligan's Island.
I had a love of pranks,
I loved that show. By the way.
especially the kind that you had to do a lot of work to build up for.
You know what I love about that show is you don't need to have seen the first episode to know the storyline because they've made like a theme song that basically is the pilot.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I saw the first episode like way later.
Mhm.
Like if there's no there's no watching an episode and wondering what is going on this show.
Did you see the last episode?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did too. It was a
But,
big deal.
But it was like I
I
mean
remember the episode when they ate each other.
Sit-
Was it a different show?
Yeah, I think it is a different show.
Mm.
Like back in the day, they would do that. They would make the theme song the pilot, basically.
Beverly Hillbillies, same thing.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the whole plot right there.
Green Acres.
Or
Green
I don't know
Acres.
if y'all remember the Patty Duke show. We're cousins, identical cousins.
No, I never saw it. Green Acres, and then
Green Acres.
Petticoat Junction.
Yeah,
I used to watch that one a lot.
and Brady Bunch. That's
Yep.
the whole show right there.
Mm.
The whole show.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. What was y'all's favorite sitcoms growing up?
MASH.
MASH. Okay.
I used to listen. I used to record it on a cassette, and I had a speaker pillow, and I would fall asleep listening to episodes of MASH.
Have you ever heard the actual lyrics to that song? The theme
Yes.
song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
The name of the song is "Suicide Is Painless."
Right.
Mm. Yeah, there's a group I like a lot, The Box, and their music. I love the melodies in their music, but I was listening to the words of one of my favorite songs, and I'm like, "Oh, this is." It spoiled the song for me. It was so dark, and it was about suicide too. But it makes you think. You listen to it, and you think it's so upbeat, but it's anything but. Once you translate the French.
What Josh, what sitcoms did you like growing up?
Well, I'll say first, MASH is a show I didn't really get to appreciate until I was older.
Mhm.
But as a kid, my favorite sitcom was Get Smart.
It's a great show. We're gonna review that actually. The first episode.
Oh, really?
I always wondered if he really hurt his nose or not right at the end when he doesn't quite make the door and close the door.
Yeah. What about you, Stephen? What was a sitcom you liked growing up?
So I know as a young child, my mother told me that I wouldn't sit and watch shows, but I would run in when the commercials would come on.
Mm-hmm.
So and when the commercials were over, I would leave the room. And I had very, very little memory of my childhood, with that level of attention. As an adult, I would kind of gravitate to whatever was on. I remember watching our gang before school, meeting at a friend's house on the bike ride to school.
I watched that.
The Little Rascals. Then I remember Ozzie and Harriet, which I thought was phenomenal. All of the shows that came through the 50s and 60s that were morbidly tasteful and societally rigid. Ozzie and Harriet, Leave It to Beaver, The Brady Bunch. For some reason, Andy Griffith seemed to always be on some channel. And then I got a little bit older and I got into some of the game shows. The Joker's Wild, Let's Make a Deal, The Price is Right, Match Game PM. Then I got into the MASH era, which was
Paul Lynn.
Yeah,
I love his laughter.
Jim J. Bullock.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I mean, I can't say that there was any one genre that I was drawn to or any one particular show in my entire life. As a matter of fact, the only standout show I would say that I'd seen in my entire life would be Game of Thrones. And that was up until, and I would say that's the only show that's captured my attention up until the last season, which broke my heart.
Right. Yeah, but Game of Thrones is not a sitcom.
I forgot about Magnum PI.
Yeah, that's not a sitcom either.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
Okay.
what about you, Carlos? What was a sitcom that you liked growing up, or Silver Spoons?
Oh yeah.
Small Wonder.
What was the other one with
Under.
with Back to the Future?
Oh, Family Ties.
Guys.
Family Ties.
Yeah, watch that.
And then of course the whole other series of ones with the girls, Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
And then you had what you talking about, Willis?
Yeah,
Different Strokes.
Good Times,
Mhm.
The Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Those were amazing.
What about Stanford and Son?
Yep.
Sanford and Son. Oh my God, yes.
What's
Yeah.
happening?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Golden Girls.
What's happening was awesome.
Yeah, Golden Girls.
Welcome Back, Carter.
Yeah.
WKRP in Cincinnati. I mean, there was a lot of great sitcoms, and then there's the serious ones, the ones that were all about like that, Laverne and Shirley. Wow, you're making me really go back. Mork and Ork, Mork and Mindy.
Age is enough.
Happy Days.
Remember Night Court?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Oh yes, that was fantastic.
Yeah, man.
That was that one was sad sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was an interesting time for sitcoms. But the sitcoms that I really liked the best were those that reflected the changes of the era. You had The Odd Couple. You had the one with the girls, not Laverne and Shirley, but where there was like an ad agency and a blonde woman, always serious.
Designing Women.
Well, that's one.
Okay.
But it was more an ad agency. Designing Women was more like fashion.
Okay.
Was it a newspaper? The Mary Tyler Moore Show. I mean, there's some great shows that just forcibly changed time, and showed that things were changing for women's rights, for example. Things that were changing in terms of the black generation and how they were being represented. Eventually going to the Cosby Show, but it took increments. And I think it was a beautiful time to see those increments, even though some of it was still kind of racial. I think it was blatant and brought attention in the public. Now everything's so subtle and so.
Well, there was Star Trek too. Huh?
Well, yeah, but that wasn't a sitcom per se, or was it?
No, it wasn't. But it was still.
I was just
there.
trying to stick with the sitcoms, but you're right. I mean, Star Trek was an epic show that changed how cultures can merge together and become one. Yeah. So,
and that's where I remember Rob Reiner the most memorable for me.
What was your guys' favorite commercials growing up, or ad campaigns or commercials growing up? Of course, there's the famous "Where's the Beef."
That was a great one.
Here, lizard.
Oh yeah, right. That was a good one. Remember? The one it still plays. The Clapper.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the same commercial from when we were kids.
Yeah, it is the same commercial.
Yeah. Remember New York City? Get a rope.
I remember in the 10th grade there were so many ads for Jamaica. We'll intoxicate you with hibiscus.
Come to
We'll
Jamaica.
drench you with sunshine.
Yes.
And I remember that commercial so well.
Now, what were you gonna say, Josh?
Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead.
I remember that. Yeah,
Over and over again.
hilarious.
Hold on. Just to feel good about 7 Up. Anybody remember that one?
Yeah, I remember. You want to hear something funny? Is I was talking to I don't know if I might have said this once before. I don't remember, but I was talking to someone who was kind of younger, and I said something like, "Oh, hey," she was like in her early 20s. I said, "Yeah, 30 minutes or less," and she was like,
Or
Okay.
what?
And she didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So then I was like, Domino's Pizza.
It's
She's like,
it's free.
so I had to explain to her the whole thing about what 30 minutes or less. And then I had to show her a commercial on YouTube. And she was like, oh, why don't they do that anymore? And I was like, then I had to go into the fact that drivers were crashing trying to get the pizza to the house.
Yeah.
I felt so old too when I was like, oh man, you don't remember 30 minutes or less?
And now they have the app where you're ordering your pizza and you see where it's at
Right.
it's at every stage.
It's
And
still-
then the driver calls you, are you ready to come down? I'm almost there. And
Chia. That's funny. Chia Pet. Has anyone owned a Chia Pet or seen one up close, like at someone's house?
yeah.
I don't think they actually exist.
No, they do exist.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone with a Chia.
It wasn't mine. I think it was my brother's, but it did it did at home what it did on the television. Just took a while.
All right, what's up, Thomas? Yeah, I've seen, a Chia Pet up close. Besides in the store, I don't know anyone that owns a Chia Pet or a Pet Rock or
Oh, I remember those.
Teddy Ruxpin. though.
Yeah.
That's man. There's like a whole YouTube page of
Allow me to share a video with you.
creepy encounter.
I'll be right back. Well, I'm not going anywhere, but
For Diana,
Oh, Diana, you was hanging out with Diana today, right?
yes, for medical purposes.
Yeah. Hey, Diana. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Diana. What's up, Thomas? It's my nephew Thomas, protege.
You remember what Michelangelo says about pizza delivery?
no.
No.
Wise man say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Oh, it's from the Ninja Turtles.
Um,
That was a Ninja Turtles reference.
Ninja Turtle?
No.
Yeah,
Was
actually.
it?
Yeah. They're sitting there waiting for the delivery guy who's looking for, like, I don't remember. It was like, and an 8.
What's going on? Nothing. We're just reminiscing about old commercials. We were talking about old commercials like Chia Pet,
Clapper.
the Clapper.
Dude, you're getting a Dell.
Oh my God. Apple commercials.
Hmm.
Those are great.
Yeah, the Apple one.
The Dell and Apple commercials.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
What's up, Anna?
and Apple, John Hodgman and Justin Long.
Yes.
Take a look at that link there.
Anna.
I should say
What's up,
his
Anna?
author, Judge John Hodgman.
Hold on a second.
So you were
Let's see.
asking about sitcoms.
Yes.
Mine was Punky Brewster,
Hmm.
and
That was my first crush.
oh, which one was the one with the girl,
Alf.
the robot?
Small Wonder.
Oh, I wonder.
Yes.
Oh, that was a great one too. Alf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the cat?
I liked, and then there were still some black and white shows when I was a kid. So they would play reruns of Addams Family.
Meow or
Mr. Red?
just but instead contribute to your physical health and well-being every day of your life? Well then, Ronco has just what you need. Revolutionary pet concrete block. That's right. You can take a lovely slab of solid gray concrete for walks, burning off hundreds of calories while you do it. And you never have to get a license for it, pay veterinarian bills, feed it, or worry about fleas and ticks. It's made from strong, durable calcium carbonate, so there's a lifetime warranty. Well, actually, it's a 5-year warranty with labor. That's Ronco's new pet concrete block. Only $39.95 for a limited time. Ronco's new pet concrete block is available at Lumber King, Pro Hardware, and the Art Shop.
I spent a lot of time at that house. No, it was my friends.
Oh, this is you.
No
Yeah.
charge should be left.
No, that's not me.
And
That's not me.
kept on leash in public. Thank you.
Yeah, the narrator is my friend Craig, and then that was Dale, Ken's brother, and the other guy I forgot his name, but he came in later in the later years. In the upstairs, there was a loft above the garage, and there was a radio station there. His brother had built that had a broadcast license, and we recorded many mixtapes up there. And in the basement, I brought my strobe light over one time, and we had an epic pillow fight, which actually turned out to be a very painful pillow fight. So we only did it once. But it's nothing quite like a strobe light in pitch black. All you see is this, and then boom. That's actually it's kind of cool. The expressions people make when they're about to whack you with a good solid pillow. But that's what happens out in Scarborough. Now you know.
Paste picante sauce ain't no secret. I use paste in the queso dip. Just add paste to Velveeta cheese spread and microwave. Shoot, paste picante sauce allowed up any rib. I got a secret ingredient. That stuff made in New York City.
Pick up your party dips. Pick up the pace.
That's one secret you ought to keep the lid on.
I remember that. New York City.
Yeah, get a rope. Hilarious.
I'm hungry now.
I just finished making dinner for my kids.
What are you making?
Wow.
I broiled some steak and made a Asian cabbage salad. And of course, kids can go without mac and cheese, except this is Annie's version of mac and cheese. The healthy, organic version of something horrible to feed my children.
No.
Sorry to hear, Anna. Sending positive vibes. Prayers.
Yeah, man.
Aw, Anna.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
All right, well, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for having me on.
All right, Kaya. And I'm gonna hit you up. Oh, yeah.
Wines, bud. Wines. Bud. Bud. Wines. Bud. Wines. Bud. Bud. Wines. Bud. Wines. Bud. Wines. Wines.
Hilarious.
I haven't spoken to that friend for a while. He must have wondered why the views on his YouTube channel suddenly jumped back when I came across that video again. Oh, this is going to be good. People like this. And there was another one, Shakespeare in the Can, not in a can, in the can. And then they did some scenes of Shakespeare from the can, and that one disappeared. I don't know where that one went. Can't find that one anymore.
I remember.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know. Sorry.
And you guys remember this one?
That's it. That's funny. That's funny. I was just about to look that one up. That is funny.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah. That's hilarious. That's the one I was just looking up. The why's yeah.
We used to have one for Crazy Eddie. I don't know if anybody knows Crazy Eddie. He was a retail store here in New York. And then he was caught with like money laundering or I don't know what. But he had some pretty insane commercials.
No, we just had the mayor. Nobody. Who's better than Bad Boy? Nobody. Then he became the mayor. And who's the best mayor? And who's better than Mel in North York? Nobody. And he actually was an excellent mayor. Excellent mayor. But I guess who's the only one that shut him out of the subway multiple times? Me. Because I'm down the other end of the train and I just close the doors because we're on the schedule. Close the doors. And he's just standing there staring. Oops. Because
Anything and everything in stereo equipment. Get it all now during Crazy Eddie's greatest stereo sale ever. Crazy Eddie, his prices are insane. Get those earmuffs off and listen to this. Crazy Eddie's Christmas blow blitz is going on now with the lowest sale prices ever on receivers, speakers, turntables, compact display, or stereo.
So things like this actually
anything and
existed.
everything in audio equipment.
Yeah.
Remember, we are not undersold. We will not be undersold. We cannot be undersold. And we mean it. You don't have to ski, cross.
I think that was past.
Those prices are insane.
Looking at the equipment there and thinking, and I think I was busy working then to have seen that commercial.
Country. To get the lowest sale prices on audio equipment, because Crazy Eddie's Christmas audio blow blitz is going on now at a Crazy Eddie superstore near you. Crazy Eddie, his prices are. Edison came up with lots of great ideas, but nothing as great as a new Crazy Eddie Edison, New Jersey superstore. Yes, Crazy Eddie's Edison, New Jersey grand opening is going on right now through Sunday. Thousands of free Crazy Eddie t-shirts and baseball caps, and all great Crazy Eddie
like that.
superstores are celebrating during Crazy Eddie's grand opening blowout blitz. So come on down to Edison, New Jersey. Thousands of free Crazy Eddie
Yeah, I
t-shirts
remember
and
that.
baseball
Kiss
caps.
my
Let
grit.
Crazy Eddie
Kiss
light up your life with prices that
Kiss my
are
grit.
insane.
So yeah, so he ended up in jail.
Yeah. And he's like, and it's insane up in here.
What about I guarantee it?
I don't know.
Wait, that's
I heard you can kiss my grits.
Ben's Factory Outlet.
And I said I'd like to, but that was
Men's Warehouse.
Yeah.
You'll like the way you look.
oh,
I
remember,
guarantee it.
pardon me.
Mm.
When you happen to
Yeah.
have Grey
Or
Poupon.
Alice. That was the name of the show. Flowing on
Remember
Alice.
that Grey Poupon?
I love that one.
Yeah, Pipon, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to watch Alice a lot, actually, in the summer especially.
I
Max
don't know
Headroom?
anybody who, Max Headroom. Yeah. I don't know anybody who used Grey Poupon.
I didn't either. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I think I tried.
They got me to buy it once, but I didn't go back.
Yeah.
At least I tried.
There was the Where's the Beef Lady. That was a milestone commercial that just played itself out. Then there was the Hump Day Camel in the past generation that wore out its welcome in elementary schools across the country.
Oh yeah, remember Yo Quiero Taco Bell?
Mm-hmm.
The Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Run for the border.
All right, guys, I have to go to bed.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Then
It
the
is
Coca-Cola
late.
commercials were always something.
Hey Carlos, I'm gonna call it a night too. I'm gonna there's some food up front, so I'm gonna go eat it. But it was great being with you guys. I was this was gonna be a 20-minute show, and it's
I knew as soon as you said that it wasn't going to.
Always, always.
It was supposed to be a 20-minute show, but you know it is.
Those are the best ones, the spontaneous ones.
All right, good night.
You lovely people. I love you guys all, but I'm gonna go eat. You guys have a good one.
Nice seeing y'all. Bye for now.
Good night, all.
Y'all come back now. You